tap, including the popular single-axle light American lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R. Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer.
Mmm.
Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com. Fall is officially here, and Brown's Shoe Fit has just the right style and comfort your feet deserve. Stop in to see a wide selection of all your favorite brands, including Brooks, Hoka, Echo, Keen, and many more. At Brown's Shoe Fit, they take the time to measure your feet to ensure proper fit. They also have the largest selection of Uggs and Hokas in Lincoln. Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
From the capital to castles, starting this December, fly nonstop from Lincoln to Orlando with service from Breeze Airways. That's right, nonstop flights to Orlando out of LNK are starting this December. You're now just a flight away from Disney World, Universal Studios, Legoland, and the Space Coast. Stretch out and relax on Breeze with complimentary family seating. Book your magical getaway now at LincolnAirport.com. LNK, make flying easy.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker Nation, now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Diving touchdown, Nebraska.
Does he have enough? Is it long enough? It's going to be tipped and caught. It's caught.
How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's all the way.
Totally unbelievable. It's game day in Lincoln, America. And this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Advanced Medical Imaging, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good evening, Nebraska fans. Late night game on the West Coast. Huskers, UCLA, just about 3 hours away from right now in LA. He is Austin Orman in for Steve Sipple, who just informed me a minute ago he's in a bind in LA. I think he's fine, but in terms of joining the pregame show, he won't join us. So I am Jake Sorensen. He is Austin Orman. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, sponsored by A1 Automotive, always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, now at 5110 State Hill Drive. Austin, well done with Mandy on the post-game show, by the way. For
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And no big deal. 15 straight sweeps for the women. They just remain an absolute wagon, so to speak, for them. I mean, here's the deal. Nebraska football, no pressure. It's been a great day for sports. Let's go through it. Nebraska basketball pounds FIU thanks to a triple-double by Rick Mast. Great games by Connor Season, Braden Frager.
It was Bryce Sanford, not Connor Season.
Did he have like 11 points too, though?
Sanford was the story.
Okay, well, I'm going through all of them. When they scored 96 points, a lot of guys are good players. Yeah, Bryce Sanford had a great second half in the game. Rick Mast was great all the way through. You had Jamarcus Lawrence only had 1 point, and they still scored 96 points. I mean, I'm just saying, team looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Team looks good right now. Team looks pretty good. Volleyball sweeps, of course, Minnesota. Women's basketball, what's the update with them?
They started about 2 minutes ago. Let me get the old stat broadcast.
We expect that they will win that game, though. So we'll make it hopefully a complete sweep for the football, the programs at Nebraska with a win on the road against favored UCLA, Austin, which still, if I take you back to mid-late September, you told me that November 8th, UCLA would be ranked or would be favored over Nebraska. I'd say, excuse me, come again. Slow down and speaking. Are you sure you got that right? And that's the case right now.
Does that tell you more about how far UCLA has come or how little Nebraska might have progressed from the point that UCLA fired Deshaun Foster?
Probably. I mean, I don't know if there's one or it's a combination of both. It shows that Nebraska once again is having end of season issues, but it shows that UCLA has had some nice wins. I mean, think about the wins they've had since they started off 0-3. They go out to they host Penn State and put 42 points to them, 27 points at halftime. Hold on to win that football game. You know, they pound Michigan State. Of course, Indiana beat them by 50 last time out. That's unfortunate, but like they're a good football team. They are legitimately good, and it makes you wonder. We talked to Nick Cope, who is a voice for UCLA on Friday. He's like, I don't want to talk bad on Deshaun Foster, but yeah, things are a lot different here, and it's amazing how quickly it turned.
It's funny how big a deal coaching is sometimes and how little a deal coaching is sometimes. Clearly, at UCLA, coaching was part of the issue. Maybe not everything. Shout out to young Neuheisel. Jerry Neuheisel for his ability to press the right buttons. Jay gave him crap for playing so much Madden. He's just been waiting for this moment.
I guess he has.
There's something to be said for a guy like that who's UCLA, royalty in that lineage. Not saying Deshaun Foster wasn't, but a guy that's paid his dues, waited his turn. Now he gets his moment. On top of Nico Yamaleva really settling in, I think, for UCLA. Yep. Now,
which was going to happen at some point.
At some point it was.
It didn't, yeah.
But in the way that it happened, that's maybe what should concern Nebraska fans, is that you think about the arm talent with him, long, mobile, athletic quarterback. But what stands out is his ability to run the ball, especially UCLA has really leaned on him. They have a transfer back from the Big Ten in Jalen Berger, who's bounced around now at his third Big Ten school.
Yeah.
Not sure if he anticipated.
Wisconsin, Michigan State, UCLA.
Now in Westwood as a Bruin. So UCLA, was fine under Chip Kelly. I get why he made the decision they did. I understand as well why UCLA made the move that they did to go with Deshaun Foster. But now with him out as quickly as he was, kind of feels like a missed opportunity to build off of, at least for that program, what passed as momentum with a couple bowl appearances under Chip Kelly.
Yeah, Austin, I had a moment the other day where I'm not old, but I feel old sometimes. when I realized that Jerry Neuheisel at 33 years old was a backup when Brett Hundley faced Nebraska. He was a backup quarterback. I remember that game like it was yesterday. Nebraska and Lincoln was up big. They gave up 38 straight points on the home turf to get blown out by UCLA. That's like in my head like it was last night. And that was 33-year-old Jerry Neuheisel. What happened to time? What happened to me?
Nothing good.
No.
Nothing good has happened.
He's in that time frame. Nothing good's happened for Nebraska. I know that's harsh. But by the way, if you want to chime in, you're welcome to call or text 402-464-5685. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and you can watch on Allo 961 as always. Happy to have you along for the pregame show all the way up until 8 o'clock. We'll have everybody with us. AD, Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman, Chris Raff, the whole gang. Austin will be on again as the show goes on. Harrison Orange as well.
Get used to it, people.
Yes. So it should be a fun night ahead as we prepare for Nebraska UCLA. But Austin, I mean, here's the deal. UCLA is not the same team they were when we all rightfully so laughed at them for their blowout loss against Utah, losing to New Mexico, giving up 298 rushing yards and a 35-10 loss to them, and also, again, UNLV beating them. So a terrible non-conference, but they still rank dead last in the conference in rush defense. But those numbers have gotten better, even though they are dead last. So if you are Nebraska, I would think, now if I'm wrong, correct me, that you have a quarterback that is way more mobile than your previous quarterback in the injured Dylan Raiola. You have a great running back who is second in the country in rushing yards. Bad rush defense, good rush offense. Dana Holgorsen kind of said it, in a backhanded compliment way earlier in the week that I guess we're a run first team. Embrace the run first team and RTB. Am I crazy?
I think you missed a D, but other than that,
RTDB, yes.
Yes, as a Colts fan, I have to throw the
PG station.
in there. We are
PG station.
Also, welcome to the Colts bandwagon, by the way. So you can say the
bad luck.
RTDB.
So you don't kick me off if you want to.
That's all right. We'll beat Farley's Falcons tomorrow. Anyways, task at hand. Nebraska, UCLA. Was talking with Wilson Moore, the World Herald at the men's basketball game, tweeted out a halftime prop bet.
Okay.
More Nebraska pass completions or Nebraska football assists when Nebraska had 15 assists at halftime. I kind of saw the game devolving into street ball toward the end. Ended at 29. So shout out to, again, Wilson Moore, the Omaha World Herald, friend of Old School and the post-game show. He said, well, how about this? Let's change the bet to Nebraska men's basketball assists or Emmett Johnson carries.
Oh, so 29 is the number?
29. Well, the over-under essentially is 29 and a half.
To remind the fans, Emmett had exactly 29 carries against USC for 160-plus in the loss last week.
When it comes
to... But here's the problem, Austin, is that 29 carries, I think, is possible, but Latif's going to get his carries, right?
Probably. Here's what I want Nebraska to make sure doesn't happen. That TJ Latif gets antsy and his first instinct is to run. We've given Dylan Raiola, as a Husker fan base, enough grief for how he maneuvers or doesn't maneuver the pocket. Holds on to the ball too long, gets rid of it too fast, right? He's a quarterback. These things happen. The read on Latif is the legs. The legs are the weapon. He's escapable. Right. He's mobile. Well, how do you contain that? You do what Jay Foreman would call a mush rush. Keep the guy in the pocket. So for Nebraska, you want to make sure TJ Latif is on time. He's decisive. And of course, you want to make running the ball a focus. Stick with all of that. But I hope TJ Latif doesn't get into run first mode unless he has to. He needs to exhibit some pocket presence and not bail UCLA out by running for 3 or 4 yards just because he felt rushed, he felt sped up. When if he holds in the pocket for an extra quarter of a second or half a second, hey, there's that receiver breaking into the window that you can see. I'm not sure if TJ Latif is in the throw guys open stage of his career quite yet. So yes, his legs are absolutely a weapon that Nebraska will need to lean on, but I hope that doesn't come at the expense of pocket presence and missing open receivers downfield because he's jittery and antsy.
And here's the problem with that, Austin, is that you are right, and he knows that, but it's all about experience. Like you can't, there's nothing you can do in practice to prepare himself for that situation of, hey, trust the pocket, stick in there a little bit longer than you want to. And because when I keep thinking about this, Austin, and this is a different comparison, but hear me out, is that for years, Nebraska quarterbacks in the offseason, like Tommy Tommy Armstrong and Taylor Martinez would go to a guy named Steve Calhoun in offseason to fix their throwing motions, to fix their mistakes. And they go to fall camp feeling great. And then what happened, Austin, is they'd get the first game and they resort back to what they know. So I know it's a long example for what I'm doing here, but that you can practice all you want about scenario, and it might look great. But the moment those lights are on, it's not Nebraska against Nebraska. It's an actual football game. All the positive that you've learned in practice sometimes goes out the window. And so that's why it comes into, are you a gamer, TJ, or are you a work in progress? And if you're a work in progress, we get it. We're fine. That's understandable. But as a program that's trying to see, do we have a potential battle on our hands going forward? Do we have a potential program changer at quarterback? Not fair to put the USC game on his shoulders. Came in a cold game in the second half, and yeah, he didn't win the game, and that's too bad. But now he's had a full week as the guy. Can that dude be an alpha, be the guy, and go win a football game on the road? Because Nebraska's last road game, Austin, was completely disgusting at Minnesota. Disgusting beyond belief.
It absolutely was. There's no excuse for that game. I think this game plays more into the style that Nebraska wants in terms of team composition, the way UCLA wants to play and the way Nebraska wants to play. This is where the first quarter, we'll see what we can learn. Second quarter, okay, you probably ought to be settled in by then. Third quarter coming out of halftime, maybe get some adjustments. Right. Maybe it's just orange slices. And then if it comes down to a fourth quarter, that's where we really see what TJ Lateef is made of. There's a very fine line that only TJ Lateef knows. Not even Nebraska's coaches can know right now. Have we given this young man enough? Have we given him too much? Have we given him too little to think about and process? TJ Lateef, from the outside looking in, seems California cool. Not like completely laid back hippie surfer dude. He seems intense. He seems focused, but he does give off gamer vibes. You see him go in the non-conference games and just ball out. Even against USC, I didn't think he looked rattled. Now you could say, well, he fumbled and then fumbled the snap. Maybe that's some rattle, which could be. I don't know what was going through his head. If that was him being sped up, if that was something that was going to happen to Dylan Raiola at that time, if he was in the game, I don't know. But when I say what I do about TJ Lateef and the legs, you want to remind him to stay in the pocket because that's where most of the quarterbacking magic happens. But you also don't want to confine him there. You don't want it to be so nailed into his head that, no, I have to be a pocket guy. I have to be a pocket guy, that you take him out of what he does well. See Tommy Armstrong in 2015, moving to a more West Coast style offense that wasn't necessarily fit for him. So there's a fine line for Nebraska that I'm sure will take some tuning and adjusting throughout the game of, obviously we want to put this young man in the best position to succeed. Is that by being himself and unleashing his potential on the ground, or is it by reinforcing to him that your receivers are winning off the ball? You have playmakers that you can get the ball to. Give them that extra step. Give them that extra beat. Hang in there, and you'll be okay.
We need to remind ourselves also that in this conversation that I have been very, upbeat on UCLA and complimentary. They're still a 3-5 football team.
But they're a 3-5 football team that's bowl eligibility on the line.
Understood. And their November is ridiculously hard. Like, their path to 6 is unbelievable. If they get it, Tim Skipper's got to be the coach. Like, how could you not let that guy who came in an absolute mess be the head coach? That's a different story. But it is a team that, yes, they're coming off of a kind of back to earth moment of 56-6 against Indiana, who was beating everybody besides, again, Penn State. What a great comeback, by the way. Indiana blew a big lead. Trailed, big touchdown by Omar Cooper. What a catch.
Holy smokes.
Catch in the back. Holy smokes. Gus Johnson still has lost his voice at this point. Reminder also on that note, Oregon leads Iowa 15-7 going to the fourth quarter, up by 8
West.
there. Yes.
Big 10 West.
It's a disgusting weather game right now in Iowa City. That's one game to keep an eye on there. But yeah, I mean, there's a quarterback that we had the same questions about, Austin, in terms of, running quarterback, but can he get over the top? And again, it's still way too early. It's the first game we've seen Lateef besides garbage time against Houston Christian, Akron, and going in a tough situation against USC. But Adrian Martinez was a running quarterback from California that had a lot of skill, a lot of potential. We thought he was a gamer, but it kind of melted down when it came to closing the deal. I'm not saying we won't learn anything about what he is tonight compared to that, but wouldn't it be nice to have a conversation where we're doing post game at 11:30 tonight, midnight to 1 a.m. Nebraska's won the football game, and it wasn't because they won because of the team, not in spite of him.
Absolutely.
Right?
And that's a conversation Jay and I started to have throughout the week. Was we have seen Nebraska put so very much responsibility on the quarterback and the quarterback alone in years past. Tommy Armstrong to a lesser degree, but since then, think about everything Adrian Martinez was asked to do. It's sometimes what Casey Thompson was asked to do. Even Heinrich Haarberg, and Jeff Sims for the game and a half that he played, Nebraska asked the quarterback to do a lot. Here's the common theme, is that UCLA starting quarterback is their leading passer and rusher.
Correct.
There's a fine line, again, between letting the guy get in the rhythm and get hot by him doing everything with the legs and getting in the rhythm throwing the ball, and limiting the other option so that when it comes to the fourth quarter, he's beat up and he makes that crucial mistake. We saw that crucial mistake almost without fail for 6 or 7 years for Nebraska
you
in
tried
late
to
moments.
pray it away. It wouldn't go away.
It wouldn't go away. And some of that's on the quarterback. Sometimes that's just asked of the best player or the most important player on the team to go act like it. Nebraska's guys, A, didn't consistently prove capable of that, but B, I always will wonder how much more capable of that they could have been with a better supporting cast. So they had that extra percent, that extra little oomph in the tank, that extra, degree of force that they can put on the ball to secure it and not fumble, that extra, synapse that can fire in the brain that they're not out of energy because they had to do so much leading up to it. My hope for Nebraska is that they can turn this into a Superman game for Nico Iamaleava, prove that he's still a young quarterback, and have the other team's guy be the one that makes the crucial backbreaking mistake late because of everything his team asked him to do for the previous, say, 50 minutes.
Wouldn't that be great? I mean,
it would be.
Wouldn't that be great that Nebraska goes out there? Yeah, exactly. Nico's been great this year in terms of the last couple of games. Not a very bad first month, but like defensively, Nebraska hasn't. They had the big pick by Andrew Marshall against USC. They did nothing with this. That's the drive that Dylan got hurt on. Is out for the season. Like they had a chance to go up by 11 points or maybe 15 points with a touchdown, and they get no points because of a strip sack. And that's just, again, things of the past coming to haunt you again, is not taking advantage of the breaks that you get. And Nebraska, like I heard something, Austin, this is something I was just, I was blown away by. I was listening to the national broadcast of Iowa, Oregon driving in. And they said it didn't happen today, but because of what happened last week, Iowa has had a pick six in 18 straight seasons. Like, when's the last time you've seen Nebraska have that play? And
Tommy Hill against Colorado.
Okay, last year that happened. But it hasn't happened. Like, we're saying that happens at least once a year. It happens more than once a year for them. Like, they live off of that. And I want, like, last year, and also Sierra Wright against USC. So he had two of them last year. But have we had it this year at all yet? Have we had that moment?
It doesn't feel like it, despite opportunities to do so, right? Nebraska can make a play. It's not often Nebraska makes the play.
You had a punt block for a touchdown against Michigan State, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's something.
Okay, you had it. You made the play, and then you let it go to waste. Right? When Iowa gets that, they go up by probably 2 possessions on this pick six. The other team's in desperation, hey, we got to move the ball somehow mode. That's the final nail in the coffin. Nebraska has not been the final nail in the coffin team, which is weird to say about a team that has actually won a trio of one-score games this year. They've gotten better at it, but I think to your point, the play that Andrew Marshall made should have been that moment where Nebraska finds any way at all to go up 2 scores.
To snap this streak against ranked teams, to get the win for Matt Rule, to beat a team that's not very good in cold weather in USC, stinks on the road. That was your moment. And the stadium was waiting to erupt because it's kind of in a boring game at that point. 14-6, Nebraska's up. Your chance to go up by 2 possessions. And it didn't happen. And your worst fears in the game happened of an injury to Dylan, a lost game, and this continued streak of ranked losses to teams. And so that can't change tonight. You can't change your streak against ranked opponents. You can't. But what you can change is start to hopefully flip this narrative of Nebraska sucks in November. It's been 6+ years of this month crushes you. And Iowa across the border, who plays the most boring football ever, dominates
21-2 in November.
Right. It's not like that screams to me of physicality, mental toughness, because they're not exactly more talented than you are. They tend to be tougher. They tend to be smarter than you. And Nebraska's got to find a way to get past it. And UCLA, again, a football team playing better football than they did a couple months ago, is not an impossible test. And they should not be the tougher, more physical team tonight. That should not happen.
It cannot be allowed. Plain and simple. UCLA is better than we would have given him credit for after Foster got fired. But after that Northwestern team that fired Pat Fitzgerald ended up going to a bowl game, you remember that, there is actually talent on these other teams. Maybe we need to change how we talk about talent. It's hard to do because of how ingrained I think the word talent in our visualization of it is. I'll say this. If you want to use the standard definition of talent, Nebraska and UCLA probably equal. You'd like to lean Nebraska a little bit, but more so than, player versus player, which sure, you can say it comes down to that at the end of the day. UCLA has advantages. Nebraska has advantages. Who's able to get to those advantages more consistently? How often is UCLA able to break a big run against Nebraska? Is Nebraska able to ground and pound against UCLA, control clock, chew off its own chunk yards? Is Nebraska able to jump in front of a pass from Nico Iamaleava, who will give it to you 7 picks in 8 games? He'll give you 1 a game. Talent being equal, do you trust Matt Rule when the game gets tight? Do you trust Dana Holgerson or John Butler in these big moments? Regardless of who the quarterback is, those guys have to be good on the sidelines. But I think especially with a freshman quarterback, you can't protect him at this point. You can't play with some holds barred. You can't leave anything in the chamber. Now, you don't want to overwhelm him, but I think going too basic sets TJ Lateef up for failure. I think going too basic sets Nebraska's defense up for failure. You got to be exotic enough. Put something on tape. It's November, like you said. You're 1-7 in November under Matt Rule. Now 1-8 after the loss to USC. At some point, you got to put it all out there. You can't say, "Oh, we held back. Oh, we have the excuse of a freshman quarterback." 1-3 in November would be a step in the right direction because it gets you to 7-5, but would also feel like a massive missed opportunity where you got to find a way to get over the hump. And that's not by holding things back. You're not good enough to hold anything back, no matter who the opponent is.
I think about, again, if Nebraska were to win tonight, okay, that's a check. Got to win in November. Bye week. Penn State is back to having a pulse. They've lost 6 straight games, but they have a pulse. If you win that game, in Happy Valley, okay, that's now 8 wins. You got Iowa coming to town. Win that game against maybe a ranked team, regardless of ranked or not. Team. Yeah. Then you go 3-1 in November, 9-3 overall. That was the ledger. That was the goal. Or hey, we'd like to go 9-3. It's still on the table. It just seems so far because of what we've felt with the problems in November, the last game against USC, and the fact that now you got a backup quarterback who some people have clamored for. We'll see if that's the smart thing or not. But regardless, there's so much can change in the conversation starting tonight around 11:30 if Nebraska simply gets a win. I don't care how it looks. Like, obviously, I want to see a nice football game, but a win is a win this month, which has been just a hell on earth for this fan base.
For a decade or more. Wyatt and Alma is going to one-up everyone calling for TJ Lateef on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. If Lateef struggles as a wildcat formation with Emmett Johnson, the way to go the rest of the game. I will say this. TJ Lateef struggling versus TJ Lateef being injured. If he's injured, Jalen Gramstad is the backup quarterback, and then Marcos Davila becomes the third string guy. They're not going to go to Heinrich Harburg. He's like emergency guy. I don't think wildcat with Emmett Johnson is on the table. But I also don't think TJ Lateef struggling is off the table. And that's okay. You hope he can, work through it and find ways to be successful. But if TJ Lateef is the future, Jake, I'm going to pull out something just from the deep, dark crevices of my brain that will resonate with you.
Oh, yes.
Okay, as a Royals fan.
Okay, now we're talking.
Why did Ned Yost not pinch hit for Alcides Escobar in 2011 and 12 and 13? It's because he was viewed as, kind of that shortstop of the future. He's the guy. He's got to work through it. He's got to have some tough at-bats against tough righties. He's got to flail because he's got to learn. If TJ Lateef is Nebraska's Alcides Escobar, the guy that's going to step up to take the first at-bat in the World Series and hit an inside-the-park home run to spark your first World Series win in 30 years. If he's going to be the guy that you go to, you let him struggle through it. You don't panic. At the bare minimum, you have your bowl game. If you're still scratching and clawing for bowl eligibility, all bets are off. You want to show signs of progress in November, but if TJ Lateef is going to be maybe your guy next year, probably not your guy next year, barring Dylan Raiola, whatever, but certainly if TJ Lateef is in your future plans, how he struggles tonight needs to be a necessary building block for him in the future, not a reason to have a quick hook with him.
On that note, you save your pick for later on in the show, but I'm checking out after this. But I know I'm not exactly the most popular with some people out there. I try to
redeem yourself.
I try to be real here on the show, and I try to give you guys my truth. I am picking UCLA to win tonight.
Woo!
27-21.
That Q score continues to plummet.
And I really hope that I am wrong, that you guys can use this and chastise me, because I would gladly take it on the chin if Nebraska wins this game and Lateef's the big and right reason why they win. But I'm taking UCLA. I don't like it. I hate it, actually, but I'm going with my heart. 27-21. Please be wrong. Please, 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 please be wrong. That's all I beg of myself this time. Austin's not done. He's got more to go. That's it for me. We'll pass it off to Jay Foreman and Nick Sander for more next on the pregame show here on The Ticket.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln. Water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Advanced Medical Imaging.
Welcome back. It is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert alongside Jay Foreman here. As Jay, it's going to be a late night for you and I tonight. Obviously, the Jay Foreman postgame show immediately following the game. You ready to stay up? Wrong mic. There you go.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. I had to. Nebraska plays UCLA. Goodness sakes. Later tonight, 8 p.m. kickoff here. Thoughts on Nebraska and UCLA? Obviously, we know that the main storyline, Nebraska, TJ Lateef.
Right.
Outside of that, how do you handle everything that kind of happens?
Well, this is where Nebraska's offseason additions and the guys that played last year, freshmen and guys that were able to be developed by Matt Rule and company, have to come up big.
Yeah.
TJ Lateef is the story coming in to the game. The guys that they brought in originally, obviously, to go along with Dylan, have to be the story after the game. And it has to be, I think, the biggest story, be pretty consistent.
Yeah.
The story after the game has to be the defense and what the job they did against Nico and company for the UCLA Bruins offense.
I think it's there's so much to it, right? And the big storyline for UCLA obviously is that they start so poorly, but they're able to bounce back, right?
Yeah.
And Tim Skipper and obviously Coach Neuheisel's been the one that's really stole the show in the media. But the job that Tim Skipper has done to just kind of recenter and refocus this Bruins team, a lot to still play for, right? Like there's 4 games left. They need to win 3 of 4 to go to a bowl game. That was something that 2 months in or a month into the season, didn't even look like a possibility.
Yeah, they were at a point where you wondered whether they're going to win a game. And so, Coach Skipper has done a really good job of steadying the waters, resetting the standard, and also bringing or getting more out of this team. And it's a little bit how it was last year. I think when you go 0-4, you got to look how they lost. There were some close games that they lost, obviously with Deshaun Foster still the head coach. Yeah. But then I think it was that final loss against New Mexico or New Mexico State that sealed the deal, right? Mm-hmm. And so they were able to move on and beat some teams and be competitive against every team that, Michigan State, obviously they beat at Michigan State. They were able to beat Penn State, who Nebraska plays in a couple weeks. And they were able to beat Maryland. And Maryland gave Nebraska all they can handle. So the Huskers need to get off the bus, and they're probably just getting off the bus right now. It's like you're in for a dogfight, but you got to welcome it. You cannot – the days of thinking you don't have – like your mindset is you can't be right and winning, it's too much parity. And the reason why I said that it challenged the defense is because – you did a pretty good job, at least definitely a really good job in the pass game against USC, who we saw last night get explosive, right? Yeah. A lot of the negatives in the run game were self-inflicted. So those are things that you can change and remedy, and maybe not 100% fix, but you can make a lot of ground up the way that they weren't able to stop King Miller. And you're going to get quarterback run. You're going to get more quarterback run or potential of quarterback run on schedule and off schedule than at any point this season. That's where UCLA has been really, really, really efficient. But where they've really taken off is in the intermediate pass game to keep you a little bit on your toes. And where Indiana had a really good plan because they have 2 NFL corners and some really good, inside linebackers and safeties, they were able to stop them. But you have to be able to get this guy on the ground, and the defense has to win the game, because you have to expect after 2 weeks that UCLA is probably going to have an uptick in their production, at least early against the run game. And we saw Colorado with their freshman quarterback. It takes a couple series to settle them down. The defense has to come out humming.
I find it fascinating because Nebraska now going into their second straight game where the opponent is coming off of a bye week, right?
Yeah.
And we didn't notice that right out of the gate against USC necessarily. I think we noticed it later on in the game. I think we noticed not as much fresh legs, but more so of this is Nebraska's they've played a game every single week since September 27th.
Yeah.
And so, this is once again, September 27th was their last bye week. They'll get one next weekend. Like, I think some sort of the message is also like, okay, guys, like understand the time to not relax, but to take some days to yourself and refocus, recover is next week. It's not this week. Don't make it a 2-week bye week.
Right. Yeah. And that's the maturity part. Sometimes I think teams in the past saw that bye week and they started the bye week early and they played like it. I think that's going to be the maturity. That's where when we talked about earlier in the week on Old School, and I'm sure you and AD talked about it on the drive. This is where your guys that are your single digit guys and your leaders in your team, all these guys is probably about, when you have single digit, that's 10. And then you got to, give or take another 8 guys. So close to 20 guys are like your true, we used to call E.F. Hutton when they talk, everybody listens. They got to take control of this. They got to get the young guys focused. You got to understand, listen, this isn't a bye week. We are going to empty the tank. And we're going to be a 100% in with the intentions of playing our best football game before we are blessed with a bye week. Not that we already on a bye week. And that's a great point, Nick, because USC off of a bye week looked like they were asleep at the wheel, plus the travel, right? And that's fine, right? And that's just, it was our advantage. And sure, Dylan got hurt. But once they started getting going, after we kind of gave them 1, 2, 3 chances to get their motor started, it worked against us. Now you know that UCLA is coming off a bye week. You have to expect the second half effort of USC from UCLA the first half because they're at home.
I mean, one thing to also point out when you look at Nebraska, I mean, just from a big picture conversation, Jay, remember how long those 2 weeks felt after you lose to Michigan? And you knew the season wasn't over. And even if Nebraska loses today, the season's not over. You'll have 2 more chances in the regular season and then obviously a bowl game.
Yeah.
But the difference that it can do, I think just the feeling around a program with a win going into a bye week. You mentioned it, that even in years past, like Nebraska struggled at times to go into a bye week and come out of a bye week and be successful.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks.
The previous regime, and even parts of Matt Rule, but the previous regime, not once did they win a game going into a bye week or coming out of a bye week.
That's a month almost.
That's essentially, what feels like 3.5 weeks of just doom and gloom over your program. And while, you try to keep all of the negative noise outside of the walls at Memorial Stadium and out of the locker room, just naturally it's going to seep in. And so if Nebraska can get a win going into the bye week, you have some momentum into what is going to be another road test when you come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial. It's Matt Rule said, and I agree with him. A lot of coaches will tell you, good teams don't lose twice.
Yeah.
There used to be back in the day when Nebraska would beat teams twice. You'd beat you up during the game, and then you couldn't recover the next week. And so you don't want to, have that hangover. And then more importantly, like you said, you want to win this game. Number one, you're better than UCLA. Mm-hmm. All right, UCLA is playing hot right now, but you got to get off that bus like we win in this game.
It feels a lot like the Minnesota game.
It does, and this is just if you're mature, or you're immature. Period. Like, you can look at all the rankings, and this guy's a 4-star, and Nico was a number 1 player overall, and TJ Lateef was a 4-star, and you can fall in love with all that. You can get punch drunk off
the optics with the Rose Bowl.
Optics of the Rose Bowl. You can do it like you can have all that.
Yeah, you can dress it up real big.
Right. All I need to see is how mature are you?
Yeah.
Right. How mature are you to be focused? You know what I'm saying? And maybe all that stuff that you don't need going on is that it's like when you think about it, it's trying to win and set yourself up for I wouldn't say an epic comeback. It's always how you end the season, how they view the season. And here's an example. And sometimes in the NFL, and I've been a part of this too, like where you have teams go late in the season, go on and win 4 or 5 games, and you come out of it. And heck, it was Nebraska where the way, they were able to become bowl eligible, pretty much shoot themselves in the foot against Iowa, win the bowl game for the first time in I don't know how many years. You have a great transfer portal like off season, and then they were the it team, right?
Yeah.
But when you're trying to lay the foundation down, and you do not want to be what record? 7-5, 6-6. We can't be 5-7. You want to be 8-4 above, because when we're talking about, like, if I'm peer recruiting you, and you're coming in from Notre Dame, Nick, I need you to leave Notre Dame because we need you and we are close. The first thing you're going to look at is the record, because Nick plus AD and right. So that's why it's important. It's bigger than just right now. It's foundation.
I think that's also something that gets lost in this day and age of college athletics. Is everybody thinks that these players are about the money. When it's all said and done, winning is still priority for 95% of the players.
Right.
Winning is the number one motivation.
Everybody wants to be cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And guess what? The residual effects of winning is everything else that the other 5% care about.
Right. And it'll bring a lot of people eyes here, and you'll get a lot of more.
Indiana's a great example right now.
Right.
Every college football fan of Indiana or Penn State or not, was tuned into that game today.
Oh yeah. And
what what a great feeling for that program and for Kurt Cignetti and for all those guys to continuously not only prove to themselves, but to show the entire country, hey, we are for real.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that almost every coach that is recruiting an area within the next 2 hours, get on the bus, get back to the hotel, get to the airport, they're calling guys. Hey, you see what we just did?
Oh yeah.
You see how many people are watching?
Yeah. They're just sending them the end of the game.
Yeah.
This is what winners do. We're never out of the game.
Mm.
This is probably when they get to go to practice and they hear Kirk Cignetti address his team. It came to fruition. So we've seen Matt Rule address the team and address the media. Now these guys got to make it, come to fruition.
Exactly.
You are close. You are realistically close. There's not there. We're not pulling the wool over your eyes. You are close. Now don't get happy and lazy because you are close. You have not made it yet.
Is it harder? And I already know the answer, but I want you to elaborate on it. Is it harder to get to from where Nebraska was to here, or from where Nebraska currently is to over the top?
Oh, to over the top.
There you go.
It's the hardest thing ever because you have to sacrifice more. They think they're sacrificing right now, right? And this is not taking shots at. They think they're sacrificing right now. To get to where they want to get to, they got to make a huge sacrifice that you have to do blindly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but this is a big day for it, though. Plus, you got Luke Lindemeyer, who's had a really good year on and off the field, obviously, and stuff. And DP said that he might be coming in here, but it's a game for him to be the outlet for TJ Lateef.
Yeah.
Emmett has done his thing, and everybody else. This is a dang key game. This is a hunter game. Listen. Everybody needs to step up. You can't just say I was open and you're open by a half step. You got to get off the ball, create some separation, and catch balls that aren't perfect because, yes, you had timing with him this week, but you've been working with Dylan for a year.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything in between besides you catching the ball and making the plays. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Big picture wise, I want to update on just a couple of things that have happened over the course of the last 5 minutes or so. I've talked about it on the drive. I know you guys have mentioned as well. Nebraska just struggles in November as a program. They've struggled in November. 5-19 since 2018 when you don't count the 2020 season, rightfully so. But 5-19 in the month of November. How about this statistic? Iowa 19-5. Iowa, with 1:51 to go in the fourth quarter, just took the lead on Oregon.
They did. And
they're up 16-15.
They were just down 10.
They
hit that big field goal.
They're up 16-15 with less than 2 minutes to go. Your best programs, the ones that have gotten over the top, they win in crunch time. They don't let the moment get too big, and they win meaningful football games in November. It's sure you want to win. Sure, you want to win in September. That's awesome, right? You need to beat all the teams that you need to, right? But are you able to go toe for toe when it truly matters in November? The ones that decide we're going somewhere warm for a bowl game or we're getting sent to New York.
Yeah, well, I mean, the recipe is you got to pack your defense.
Yeah,
you got to pack your run defense, and you got to be able to run the ball efficiently. And what I mean by efficiently is no negative plays or very minimum amount of negative plays, and you're able to get it over 3.5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Right. And then you got to be more than, capable in the passing game. Whereas Iowa, their curveball, like I always say, is their special teams. So really, when you think about it, Nebraska's kind of remedied their special teams. Now the defense has got to step up if you want to try to remedy, if you want to get past some of this 5-19. And you know what, Matt Rule hasn't been here for 24 games and right. So
we can make the Matt Rule record.
I know, but okay, so
of 1-10.
Right. So we know where we're at.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't go back and erase the 11 games in November, right? But now you can say we can start chipping away at it.
100%.
Right. Because if you keep saying, oh, we're 1-10, okay, what's the difference between 1-10 and 1-11? No. The buck has to stop here.
You can sit there. Now. You can sit because the conversation can change at the end of November. The conversation, the statistic overall in Matt Rule, let's say it would be 4-10, right? But you can say you were 3-1 in November this year.
Yeah.
And so in comparison to 1-3 last year. Yeah. So you're talking about a complete flip.
Yeah. And
So on a micro versus macro level, yeah, the macro might not look great, but the micro, when you really dive into the details, can look a lot better. So there's still a lot out there.
There's a lot. I mean, look, if you want an example, Adam Vinatieri, I played against him tons of times, but early in my career in Buffalo, the rap on him was he couldn't make pressure kicks. Straight up.
Yeah.
What they kept with him. He made a couple of tweaks to, his motion and kicking. Who else would you want to kick a game-winning field goal?
Yeah.
So you can remedy it, but you have to actively go out there and do it. And sometimes you got to bring something out of yourself and demand more out of your teammates, your friends, in the heat of battle to get over the hump and win this game.
All right, Jay, let's do it as we usually do. Give me a key player. Which side of the ball you want to start with?
I'll go offense first today. I'm gonna keep saying his name until he I'm gonna say Dane Key.
Okay.
Because this is a game where you're 50-50 ball catcher, right? Physical receiver. And yes, he's done really well in the red zone. Now I need you to do it 20-20 because every benchmark in between it is red zone because the accuracy of TJ Lateef, you got to make him accurate. So I think if he can do it, it opens up everything else. We know it with Emmett and all that. I'm just talking about Dane Key.
I'm going to stay in that wide receiver room, and I'm going to say a guy that is Ja'Cory Barney. Because you talk about 20-20. I mean, you talk about also the ability to get the hands out of the quarter or the ball out of the hands of a young quarterback. Quick. Ja'Cory Barney, underneath routes, just nice, easy pitch and catches. And I think Hunter is more so that than even maybe Dane Key at times.
Yeah.
Get him out in space and let him go to work.
Yeah, and it'd be great opportunity for him.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be keying on Emmett. So you're going to have favorable matchups. So you're going to be matched up, Ja'Cory Barney against a linebacker like me. You need to win and not just catch the ball. I want you to secure it, but I want run after the catch as well.
All right, defensive side. I'm gonna say the edge guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna group them together in some combination of Williams Nwaneri, Cameron Lenhart. If they maybe move Van Poppel outside at times, whatever it may be, Deshaun McCullough can be up there. Those edge guys as a group, I think, are massively important today.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go Vincent Shavers, and I'm gonna put an asterisk by it. I need you all 4 quarters.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm assuming, they're going to probably try to, the best matchup for Nebraska defensively is Javen against Nico. They look the same. They're both like 6'5", 6'6", and both just pretty much just a replica of each other. So that means Shavers, you're going to have to pick up some of the pieces because he has a hard job to do tonight. So you're going to have to be fundamentally and technically sound. And then emotionally and spiritually, you got to be invested in this game all game long. There's no fair dodging. So whoever it is, whether it's Shavers and Watson Trent, if they bring Bauer in there, whoever's coming in there opposite of Javen Wright has to play big tonight. They have to. Because if they don't, because they're going to need those guys to help on the slot receivers and the X receivers because those guys have done a good job of making guys miss. So you got to come out of the stack and make those tackles to keep those gains as minimal, because you got to take more risk against this guy.
All right, give me your prediction. What do you think happens?
27-24.
Nebraska?
Yeah, Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah,
there
barn burner.
I think that this game, UCLA is going to start out quick. I think UCLA might get on Nebraska a little quick. I think, though, Nebraska will settle in. I think we'll see TJ Lateef settle in. And I'm gonna say a narrow Nebraska victory as well. And I think they lean on Emmett a lot. I think this is another 25 touch day for Emmett Johnson. I think it also has to be.
Yeah.
You just have to.
He's the most dependable guy out there.
Has been and for as much flack as I personally, I'll say it personally, as much criticism as I gave EJ of dependability and availability and just the way he runs, he's been Nebraska's best, most consistent, most stable athlete the entire season, and just continues
And he continues to get better.
And to be able to shoulder more of the load.
Yeah.
And so that's what's been most impressive. All right, he's Jay Foreman, Nick Sandert here. So make sure you tune in as soon as the game is over. for the Jay Foreman postgame show.
Late
Us
night
two.
tonight, baby.
Here we go.
Let's go.
We're going to be joining you. We would love to field your phone calls, field your texts the 90 minutes after kickoff, or excuse me, after the game is over. And we hope we're talking about Nebraska's 7th victory coming tonight against the UCLA Bruins. When we come back, it is Terrell Farley and Todd Euler inside our 93.7 The Ticket Studios. We'll step aside. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. It rolls on when we come back here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker. Make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Nebraska fans, it might be a road game today, but the party is still on in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball, with every game on, every screen, all day long. Doors open bright and early at 9 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, bands, good food, and drinks.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki NAV, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to NAV your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Krekak of State Farm Insurance.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor. with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
Welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pre-Party UCLA. This is Terrell Farley, and I'm with Todd Euler, and we are brought to you by the Kindler Hotel for this segment. Book your stay at the Kindler Hotel at one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms that provides luxury in the heart of downtown. Enjoy a drink at the Botano Lounge while you're in there, and take out the patio door. Book your stay at thekindlerhotel.com. All right, Euler, you there?
I'm there. What's up?
Oh, man, a lot of great football today when you talk about what's going on, especially in the Big Ten area. I mean, you talk about the Oregon Iowa game just went off with a field goal. You talk about Indiana tiptoeing it in on the last few seconds of the game. So it makes me think that we can't sleep on Penn State. We can't sleep on the bottom tier of the Big Ten when we watch all this football today. Still a lot of football going on. You still have who is that? Alabama, LSU later. You still have the Wisconsin and Washington 10-10. Auburn, Vandy 31-30. Missouri 38-17 getting spanked over there by Texas A&M. But Euler, our talk is UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA tonight. I don't know how late I can stay up tonight. I'm usually 9:30-ish, 10 o'clock guy, but this game come on at 8. Fox, we need this win. I think it's very interesting to everyone because of the TJ Lateef story. The TJ Lateef's going to start. Nebraska goes a different way with Dylan Raiola, who's out for the year, and now it's TJ Lateef's show.
Yeah. We're going to find out. Some people, we all hear the rumblings, why hasn't TJ gotten in? I think Dylan's the number one quarterback and he deserves that, but careful what you wish for sometimes, because now that's what we got. So I'm excited to see, with the full week of practice with the first string, what that's going to look like. I think he brings a different dimension to our offense that Dylan didn't bring, right? Like, we didn't have to worry about Dylan pulling the ball out of Emmett's, arms and taking off with it too many times. TJ's got that ability, right? So I obviously don't think TJ could probably sling it the way Dylan does, but he's not bad either, right? So I think that's going to be obviously everybody's eyes on that tonight, right? Once again, if we don't have a heavy dose of Emmett, we're going to struggle offensively, I believe.
All right, UCLA's 3-5. I think they won 3 straight. I started 0-4. They fired a coach, get a new skipper in, get a new young Rick Neuheisel Jr. type offensive coordinator, and now this team gets blown out by a good team in Indiana. But now they have 2 weeks to prepare for Nebraska. But I think when we talk about the 2 weeks, you got to scratch a week, because Dylan was the quarterback back then, and they didn't find out till probably Monday or Sunday that Dylan wasn't going to be the quarterback. So now they have to start all over and try to see what this TJ Lateef kid is. They have to go back and look at two games that wasn't very equal, let's say, talent. So it's a lot different when you assess that into what this UCLA team has.
Yeah, I think UCLA ranks something like 104th in total offense. So, you know, but they're still a Big Ten offense. So you can't ever count them out, right? And obviously we're ranking, you know, at the top, you know, pretty close to the top of passing yards allowed. So, but our run defense, especially with mobile quarterbacks, has not been great. We saw that even, you know, last week with USC, the quarterback getting kind of free. So hopefully we can shore that up. I think that's going to be, you know, if our defense shows up the way it has the last 2 weeks, I think we're good, right? I think we'll be solid on defense. I don't think they have just the explosive type offenses that, you know, is gonna hurt us there. But neither did Minnesota, to be honest, right? So,
yeah.
But you know, so I think that's going to be a matchup. Another, you know, thing. Can we bounce back from the loss at home, and get Emmett the ball and get the offense just. I mean, I did, like you said, I just watched the Iowa-Oregon game. What a thriller! I watched the Penn State-Indiana game before that. I mean, two amazing games. I hope we're not in that tight of game, but it seems like we always are. So I think it's going to be a test. We're on the road. We're traveling 2 time zones, all that stuff. We're, you know, UCLA's favored by 1.5 from what I see right now. So we're the underdog here. Even though we have a better record, right? Like we've got 3 more wins than these guys, and we're the underdog. I hope they. I mean, I would take that. I would take that personally, right? If I was a player right now. So let's go out, lean on the ground game, let our defense do their job, and you know, give Lateef some easy completions early on, get him in kind of a rhythm, and I think watch out. You know, could get electric.
Yeah. Okay, we're on the defensive side now. We're going to jump to the defensive side. What do Nebraska defense has to do to shut down? I just call him Nico because his last name is so messed up to me. So I'm just going to call him Nico. What did Nebraska have to do to slow down Nico? Because I think the key to this game is the quarterback. And they probably have a couple of backs that's worth something. But the main focus is slowing down Nico and make sure he doesn't beat you with his legs and his arms, because if you could shut down one of them, I think Nebraska is going to win this game very comfortable. Now, when you talk about how we're going to do that, do we need to spy? I think no, we just play our regular defense until we feel more comfortable to come after them and make them run into those guys who's hitting that blitz. Make them hit to the guy who's stunting on that side of the ball when we talk about defense. How do you feel about Nebraska defense going against this UCLA offense?
Yeah, I really think their biggest weapon's Nico. I can't say his last name either. So I'm with you there, Terrell. I do believe we put a spy on it. Why not? Like we've got some of the best, you know, our backfield is, you know, defensive backfield has proven that they can cover. Why not put a spy on him, and just take it away, right? Because I do think that that's really the only way that they take advantage of us is that quarter. Even when he drops back, there's nothing there. He takes off. Spy him like I would. And now I'm an offensive guy, right? So you're a defensive guy, but I would spy him and I would have somebody following him around like a shadow, you know, like a right or somebody just always kind of looking out where he's going and not giving up the big run, right? Like we did to Michigan, you know, with the quarterback, that kind of stuff, just making sure he's always accounted for. If our base defense had shown that it could do stuff against, you know, running quarterbacks, I would say, yeah, we don't need to spy him right out the gate, but I say, what the heck? Like, he's really the only thing they have, right? So he's a very, very talented player. We're going to have to stop him if we're going to win.
Yeah. I don't know about the injury report, but Nebraska line is kind of banged up. So is that an advantage for UCLA defensive line or their front seven when we talk about trying to block for TJ Lateef?
Yeah, I would say banged up is a understatement, right, of what our offensive line is. And obviously when it was healthy, we struggled. But these guys have stepped up. Can't remember the name, the number 75 that had to come in at tackle. I thought he played well for getting thrown in. Next guy up mentality, right? So I think called quarterback runs, that kind of stuff, making sure that, we're pounding the ball will help that offensive line protect TJ when we do need to pass, right? So, I think TJ's got a lot more escapability from the sack than potentially Dylan did, right? So I think that could come into play as well. But it's his first start. It's on the road. If I remember right, he's a California kid, isn't he, TJ? Is he basically going back home?
Yeah.
So, he should hopefully feel a little comfortable. I mean, I think I think the stars are kind of lining up for this one for TJ. It could be a really breakout game for him, or it could go south. You just never know, and we don't want it to go south. I want to see things go well for us, but it seems like it's all lining up, right? So it looks like Wisconsin just took the lead over Washington. By the way, that's crazy, 13-10.
Yeah, it's been some good football today.
Great Big Ten football, man. Great. So
I can't wait for this 8:00 game to come up. When we talk about the offense, still, do you think Dana Holgorsen holds himself back a little when calling the plays, or will he give TJ Lateef the green light? I want to see TJ get the green light because I think TJ is one of those guys who's going to drop back, look for his first two choices. Probably check his third a little bit every once in a while, but he's going to want to show UCLA what they missed out on. Now, I know he didn't that he didn't sign there or even want to, but he came to Nebraska. He's a 4-star quarterback, and I want to see this kid run. I want to see a different excitement in this offense. We all seen the passing. It's slowed down really lately. We have to get Ja'Cory Barney back in the game. We have to get Dan Key back in the game. We got to get, special teams again. We got to get a long run back. I think this game right here is going to be what defines Nebraska for the rest of the season. Can they come back after a tough loss? Can they be that team who wants to be more than just a 6-6 team when we talk about football?
Yeah, and obviously I think everybody at the beginning of the season said 8 wins would be, good, right? Like I picked this to go 11-1. I'm not backing off of that, but 8 wins would be a successful season. So we got to win 2 more out of the last 3, right? So, and it starts tonight. And you look at these 3 games, this is probably the most winnable one with, going against a 3-5 team on the road, because we go to Penn State in 2 weeks and then Iowa comes here. Iowa looks really good. So I think TJ probably gets the green light, man. I don't know why you wouldn't, out the gate, he had a whole week of practice being the guy. So let's come out and let's run the offense and let's open it up and let's see what he can do. Right.
All right. We got DP on the line, man. He's fresh off the plane in California. DP, how you doing?
Oh, it is a gorgeous day in Pasadena, California. Gorgeous. 77 degrees or so. I don't know what y'all are getting back home, but
35
degrees, sun's out. It's fantastic.
Have you seen the Husker bus yet, DP?
Yeah. The bus is in the building. The crowd's in the building. As a matter of fact, the specialists are on the field as we speak. Generally, TJ Lateef is out here getting his first tosses in. You get the coaches walk around. They spend the first couple of trips around the stadium walking around, getting their laps in, and then they start to get loose. Emmett's in front of me doing his thing, and he looks game ready. So, yeah, it looks like a good one. 21 has got the look on his face.
He's got that look on his face. DP, we done seen 2 back-to-back good Big Ten games today that's been played with the Iowa and Oregon and the Penn State and
Indiana.
Now we need a third one for the night. Would this 8:00 game be as good as we want as it been advertised?
Well, what we want is a blowout by the Huskers.
Yes.
What Fox and everybody else wants is what I more likely to expect, which is a 1-possession, 1-score. In the words of J.R. Ross from Wrestling, a slobber knocker, where these two teams kind of lean on each other, and see who says uncle first. I think that's what they expected is perfect weather for a run fest. Let the big boys eat is what I'm going to tell you. Let the big boys eat.
All right, DP, when you talk about weather-wise, you say it's clear, sunny, no rain, no anything on the field.
Nope. Flags are still. There'll be a slight breeze a little bit later, but not much. It'll be 72 at kickoff, somewhere in that ballpark. Small breeze down here. It's not doing much to the kicks as they get up in the air. The punters haven't had much difficulty. The field goal kickers haven't had much difficulty. And the quarterbacks seem to be having a little extra mustard on the hot dog. So I think we can expect them to do well as well.
How many people you think travel to come see that game for Nebraska?
The hotel that I was in was red. Yeah. It was red. I checked in. There was a pregame hotel tailgate going on, and it was all red, and they were about that life. And then on the way here to the stadium, it was all red. I really, even in the crowd, as the team came in, there was some Go Big Red chants. So I expect a presence. For the Huskers as usual, expect that. That's what I'm expecting from it because the numbers are good. The numbers are good for the Huskers.
All right, DP, me and Todd been on for a minute. We was finna get down to the key of the games for Nebraska. What are some of your keys for this game for Nebraska to be successful?
It is rinse, wash, rinse, repeat. Don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself. You're good enough if you just do what you're coached to do. All right, get the running game going. We understand you get to get into a different part of your playbook with Latif in the ball game. Some things that aren't on the scouting report, some things that haven't been seen that maybe they have difficulty kind of analyzing. Maybe he runs it a little differently than some of the other folks. Let Emmett cook. Let him cook. Whether it's handing him the ball or getting him the ball one-on-one with a linebacker out of the backfield, do that. Don't turn it over, no penalties. And then get a break on specialties. I think they'll have a chance. The kickers look pretty good. The punters look solid. The place kickers look solid. But this could be one where the young Williams, or Ja'Cory Barney break one on the return game. This would be a great night for it on primetime TV, Fox, for the Huskers and Bruins.
All right, for the defensive side, DP, I talked about the defense containing Nico and make sure that he doesn't beat you with his legs and his arm, because if you take one away from him, I think Nebraska holds this team to probably a 10-point game if they can really just hunker down on this quarterback and just make him normal again, because we've seen what he did against Indiana. If Nebraska can repeat that same cycle that Indiana did, I think we're in a good place tonight.
I don't know that. Okay, so walking in the building, I didn't know that this quarterback was a massive human being.
Yeah.
This is a large human being, right? I'm standing right in front of him right now. He and Neuheisel are getting in their pregame. This is a large human being. So, yeah, keeping him between the tackles, keeping him scouted, keeping him spied, necessary. He's got a pretty good zip on the ball when he plants his back foot. But I think if you can make him throw on the run, but I don't know that you want a whole lot of mobility from this guy tonight. We know what Nebraska defensively does in their space. EJ, have a night, baby. Have a night. You can't really describe the difference between the Maryland quarterback, the Cincinnati quarterback. When you see mobile quarterbacks against Nebraska defensively, they cause problems, but Nebraska can cause problems for them by keeping them in space that they don't want to be in.
All right, guys, we're going to get our game predictions in. We're going to get it from everybody. DP, what's your final score predictions here tonight?
You know, there's only one way to do this. Y'all know that I don't do predictions. You know, I hate doing the prediction thing. But here's what I'll say to you in the best way possible. When I hang out with the Husker National Champions, there's a thing that they say, and they scream it with such passion and belief that I have to do it for you now. Skurs by 90.
All right,
Skurs by 90. Love it.
Let me get your score prediction.
Yeah, I think TJ has a night. I think with the week of practice and being the guy, I think he has a night. We win this one 35-17.
35-17. All right. I think when I look at this game, it shouldn't be close at all. I think Nebraska should pound this ball out. I think they should hit the right targets. TJ Lateef probably going to be 250 for 100 yard, 85 rushes. So I'm saying 250 yards. 2 TDs, 80 yards rushing, a TD, and Nebraska wins 31-10. I don't think that UCLA's offense is that good, so that's my prediction.
Love it. Go Big Red.
All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you for listening to us at the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Party. I am Terrell Farley, and he's Todd Euler, and we're out.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herb Street's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln.
Here we go, rolling right along. A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is halfway home. An hour and a half down, hour and a half to go before Nebraska and UCLA kick things off from scenic Pasadena, California. Austin Norman, Aaron Davis with you. This segment brought to you by Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership, stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF, Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Stop by their 27th and I-80 location today. AD, I don't know about you. I'm not missing Sunny in 75. This is beautiful basketball weather here. It's beautiful basketball weather. Basketball has gone very well for Nebraska today. Men's team won, women's team well on their way, and even good volleyball weather as the Nebraska volleyball sweeps Minnesota. But those cushy football guys get to go play where it's sunny and 75. I mean, what's up with that?
Go Big Red. Some fans walking out across the street, heading to dinner. Austin, it's good to be here, man. You've had a full day, brother. You've had a full day. You had basketball, then volleyball post game. I know online, breaking things down, stats. And here we are, 6:28 Central Time, 4:28 out on the coast, 7:28 out on the opposite coast, the East Coast. It's going to be a long Mountain Dew.
Austin Norman brought to you by
a lot of Mountain Dew right there. Folks, Nebraska kicks off in a little less than 90, right about 90 minutes, actually, by the time the TV take care of their sponsorships, etc. Nebraska will kick off there in Pasadena, the granddaddy of them all. Austin, what's your initial thoughts on this game, man?
My initial thoughts is it's not a one-to-one comparison, but I'm getting some Terminator vibes here. Mm-hmm. Not T-E-R, but T-U-R. Terminator, as in Matt Turman, right? The pride of Wahoo, Nebraska.
Yes,
With Dylan Raiola out, it seems to me, AD, like the game plan for Nebraska is run the ball. The difference, TJ Lateef is the backup quarterback, not the number 3 quarterback like it was when Nebraska went down to Kansas State, ended up winning that game. But that feels like the overarching theme for me. And it seemed like the overarching theme of the week for Matt Rule and his coaching staff. It's not okay, well, we have TJ Lateef. There's our excuse. We can pack it in at 6 wins. Whatever else we accomplish is gravy. It's no, TJ Lateef is the starting quarterback. There are expectations for him. But more importantly, and most importantly, it's about everyone else doing their job to the best of their ability as well as they can for 60 minutes to support that young man. Not make him feel like he has to go Superman or put on a show in his homecoming there in Southern California. To me, it's about TJ Lateef because he's the story. But if the game comes down to TJ Lateef, you hope he meets the moment, but it feels like some other people on Nebraska's roster maybe didn't do their work all week to not put that kind of pressure on their starting quarterback.
Yeah, there is going to be, of course, all eyes are on TJ Lateef, the freshman, right basically in his backyard, playing there at Pasadena at the Rose Bowl there. Me and Swim talked a lot about this last week. I know you and Foreman did as well leading up to this. There's got to be a heavy dose of EJ. I was listening to a little bit of DP when he was in. I'm on my way in and just mentioned he's got that look in his eye. I hope he has it as well as all the linemen as well, our guards, our tackles, our guys out on the ends, our receivers that are blocking. It's going to be critical. You will alleviate a lot of pressure from Lateef if you establish your run game early. You really do. And so if they can do that early and often, I'm not saying they win the game, but I definitely enjoy their likelihood of winning the game because, if you can look at the numbers as far as UCLA goes, UCLA is not a very good defense. It's a very porous interior line. But at the same time, those guys realize a win for them is another step for them to get into a bowl game too. So they're going to play with a lot of fire. And I said this, Austin, and I know I sound like a broken record, but when shortly after Deshaun Foster was fired and people laid them out for dead, I said, I'm going to tell you something. They're going to be a dangerous team. They don't have a coach, AD. That's exactly why they're going to. And you notice this? You notice how many guys did not hit the transfer portal.
Right.
Think about that. Usually you got guys leaving left and right that early because that was you just don't see guys get fired usually 3 weeks into the season. That was in fact, UCLA students didn't even start class until September 25th. Their coach was already fired before they went to class.
Gosh.
Think about that. And then Skipper comes in. Of course, you got Jerry Neuheisel, who's basically brought Lazarus back to life in regards to their team, their offense as a whole. So and with Nico out there, he's the leading passer as well as the leading rusher. To say this, Aust, EJ is going to be able to alleviate a lot of stress off of TJ Lateef, and if the offensive line can establish that run game early.
With a purpose.
Exactly.
You can't just run the ball just to run the ball to say you want to. You have to still impose your will in the run game. Just because you hand the ball off to Emmett Johnson doesn't mean, I would say, the red sea, but the blue sea is going to part for Emmett Johnson, right? You earn your yards in the running game. And this has been one of my concerns all week, AD, not necessarily because I have any hard evidence that it's going to go this way, but a lot of the conversation around freshman quarterbacks is what can we take off his plate?
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Everything you take off of TJ Lateef's plate, you also take off of UCLA's plate. You don't want to overwhelm the young man. You can't have him swimming in. He's got to play fast and play free. But you also can't be so vanilla and so dumbed down that you put your freshman quarterback into disadvantageous situations. I'm not saying open up and run everything you've ever run. You got to do what he's comfortable with. I get that. But run, pass, run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. You start to get a beat on. You got to run it. Absolutely. You should have another weapon in TJ Lateef's legs to help Emmett Johnson potentially run the ball even more effectively. But Nebraska can't be afraid to put the ball in the air to help open that up a little bit as well, especially if you think this kid has a future in your program. See what you got. Now's cut it loose time.
UCLA, and I talked about this earlier this week, they let go of their initial defensive coordinator. They agreed to part ways. And Kevin, I forget his last name, Coyle. And I know his first name is Kevin. He's the defensive coordinator for UCLA now. If you looked at him before, I appreciate that, Austin, if you check that out. But he has spent stints in the NFL as a coordinator, assistant coordinator.
It is indeed Kevin Coyle.
Kevin Coyle. Okay, so the old 51-year-old memory is remembering right. I was thinking of a Coyle. So Kevin Coyle, TJ Lateef is going to see a lot of different looks. In fact, I would not be shocked if Nebraska, as far as Dana Holgorsen, there's going to be some looks they haven't seen yet, unless they go back in the archives and kind of look at the history of Kevin Coyle, what he likes, what he does. TJ Lateef is going to see some different fronts tonight. He's going to see some different formations. He'll see a lot of window dressing pre-snap. They will bluff. In my opinion, they'll probably bluff a lot of coverages early on. They're going to try to confuse the young man because think about this.
As Austin, they should.
As they should. If you're Kevin Coyle and you got a true freshman coming in here that hasn't had a single start, who's played basically a quarter and a half, Throw Houston Christian and Akron out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting looks out there he's never seen before. I'm going to try to
Mm-hmm.
confuse him. What say you?
I would say that's exactly what it sounded like Nebraska wanted to do against Bryce Underwood and against Malik Washington and against Drake Lindsey. And yet Nebraska wasn't able to do it.
Right.
Because why? Those teams stayed on schedule against Nebraska.
Yep.
John Butler's talked about it. A lot of defensive coordinators have. You earn the right to rush the passer. You do. You earn the right to speed him up. You earn the right to be exotic. Nebraska's got to make UCLA earn that right. If UCLA is going to, bow up and man up and nut up, whatever you want to say, after a bye week, with a week to lick their wounds and be like, yeah, we're not letting that happen again.
Right.
More power to them. Then you got to find another way to beat them. That does worry me a little bit, but not too much that UCLA did have an extra week to prep. Now, first-time starter, essentially first-time player. What could they really glean from USC? What I can tell you is they're not going to worry about reputation.
No.
Yeah, they say this kid can run. Let's make him prove it.
Yep.
They're going to make TJ Lateef beat them. That's going to be UCLA's game plan. And my hope for Nebraska, AD, is that Nebraska does enough to make it so he doesn't have to go Superman. And then on the flip side of that, make Nico Yamaleva go full Superman. Full cape, costume, tights, span, whatever it is, right? Because we've seen Nebraska quarterbacks at the end of games, when they've been asked to do everything, break down and make the crucial mistake.
Right.
It's got to be someone else's turn, right?
That is going to be crucial tonight as far as that goes, Austin. I was looking at my notes here from earlier. Protecting the ball is going to be huge. One thing that Lateef can't do, and think about it, when we feel pressure, we resort to our default. Well, his default is a lack of experience. So so you want to keep him out of that situation as much as you can. And it goes back to what you said, brother, in that, it's going to be crucial for Nebraska to stay on schedule. We don't want to see Lateef in third and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, heaven forbid, longer than that, because you're going to put him in some situations where Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator for UCLA, can throw some exotic looks at him pre-snap, etc. So it's going to be crucial for them to protect the ball. And then, you know what, I'm going to say this, and I know some people may push back maybe a little bit on this, but Nebraska's defense could also help alleviate a lot of stress off of TJ Lateef, man, by just taking care of business, man.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And talk about the defense. A couple interesting things here from the availability report. No Dasan McCullough.
I just saw that walking in.
Dawson Merritt.
Yes. So my thing is, what in the heck happened to Deshaun? Was it a hamstring? It doesn't even say. I just seen it. I didn't say. It just said it's not available.
That's a loss for Nebraska. I'm not going to say Dasan McCullough has been everything for this team, but he's meant quite a bit. So next up at that jack position, does Willis McGahee? Did he make the travel roster? Does he have a chance to step up in this role?
A guy that they said was going to redshirt.
The guy they said was going to redshirt. Do you have to burn it now? Did you know Dasan McCullough was going to be out? Or AD, I know a lot of Husker fans have been clamoring for this. Is this a move for Nebraska to play more 4-down linemen? Can you throw in, with your starting group that I assume will be Nwarni, Judy, and Lenhart like normal? Can you find a spot for Cade Petchak on the field? Is this a Riley Van Poppel spot start as a changeup? Because we know in the Big Ten, when the opposing team comes out in a different numbered front, half the playbook goes out the window, at least according to one of Nebraska's previous coaches. So.
Yeah. I had to catch that. I was like, what? Yeah, we're gonna take that with a grain of salt as far as that goes. But you know what? With the Deshaun McCullough being out, man, that was unexpected. I literally was walking down the street and I seen that on the injury. I was like, whoa. So I can't imagine they got to Pasadena and was like, well, he's not going to be available. I'm sure they have taken care. They've taken measures to make sure that that's taken care of. But to me though, Oz, that's a big loss in my opinion, because he wasn't living in the backfield, but he brought the threat of that. You know what I'm saying? And it just, that's a lack of experience. The guy, he was quick, he was speedy out there, and more importantly, I'm not saying more importantly to Deshaun, but because Nico was such a threat.
Yeah,
that's what concerns me about Deshaun being out. And Deshaun's a long, lanky guy, quick, gets upfield quickly, holds his edges at times. So him being out with a quarterback like Nico concerns me. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do to compensate for that.
So officially here, The backup jack going into this week is Dylan Rogers, a sophomore.
Okay.
He's a guy that got on the field
Yep.
a little bit. I think last week against USC is where we saw him. Obviously, Nebraska will start Cam Lenhart and Williams Navarney. Really, I think that's what they've done all year. Then it's Elijah Judy. And Keona Davis is still listed as a starter because Nebraska goes defensive end, nose guard, defensive tackle as their 3 down linemen, at least on the depth chart. My guess, though, is that it is Lenhart, Navarney, and Judy to start. And then you can get creative. You can get flexible. Maybe this is, we've been talking all week about TJ Lateef. Maybe here's Dylan Rogers' chance. There's another young guy who was a backup to get thrust into the role. Or maybe it is a changeup from Nebraska playing a different number of down linemen. Either way, just go make some havoc. Go cause some havoc. You can do it. It's fine.
And you know what, Austin? I think sometimes, I can't speak for everybody. Sometimes I forget that this is the youngest team in the Big Ten, Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I forget that at times. And sometimes I have to, I'm not lowering the expectations that I have for them, but at the same time, I do have to keep that in consideration that the majority of these young men have not had a lot of snaps. They just simply haven't. And that's not an excuse for the self-inflicted wounds, but it's a symptom of their youth as well, though. So keeping that in mind, like you said, Rogers is going to be an opportunity, if that's the guy they choose to get the nod to, a chance for him to make a name for himself and show that what he's made him, said, hey, you know what? I'm capable of playing out here and contributing to this team.
Absolutely. We got your former co-host, your buddy, Chris Raff, is waiting on deck. Let's take our break.
Rafferty, insightful dude real fast. Hopefully the team's default is clutch. GBR, insightful dude. I'm right with you. Go Big Red, my brother.
We'll be back with Chris Raff on the other side.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer. Participating dealers. Restrictions may apply.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki NAV, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to NAV your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Folks, we are back. Ticket Tailgate Pregame by A1 Automotive. Always honest. Answers, A1 Automotive. And again, that's always honest answers I can vouch for it firsthand with my brother, good brother, Kendall Warnick and team. It's A1 Automotive at 11th and L, and now their new location at 5110 State Hill Drive. Plenty of vehicles for you to borrow while yours is getting fixed. Just great people. It's like they say, always honest answers. Another guy that's always honest most of the time, except when he's talking about his Denver Broncos, is my boy Raph. Rafferty, what's happening from Sweet Home, Alabama?
Oh, not too much. Just sitting down here, getting ready for another Nebraska football game.
Rafferty, a lot of good games on today. I missed a lot of them. Had some things going on work-wise, so couldn't get those. But, man, in the Big Ten, Harrison, there was a lot. The Indiana, of course, Penn State game. The guy, I did see the highlights, though, Raph and Harrison. The guy made a heck of a catch, probably the catch of the year.
Gus Johnson was in his emotions on the call.
Did he have
there.
a conniption?
Oh, it was hilarious. You can imagine Johnson on a play like that, on the verge of tears, laughter, everything.
Yeah, I thought he was going to start crying there for a second. It was weird.
Was it weird, Raph and Harrison? Was it?
It was. I mean, it's not weird because it's Gus Johnson.
Yeah,
I'll say that much.
It was building up to a crescendo because I had tweeted out probably about 15 minutes earlier. I'm like, this is a little too much. I mean, screaming and yelling. And then when he made that catch, I mean, he like broke down. I really didn't even really know what he was saying. He was like, and I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, Gus kind of gets after it, man. He kind of gets – no, I can't say kind of. He just goes bonkers. But there's enough people, I guess, that enjoy it. Some of his,
he loves the game. I'll say that. It's better than having someone who doesn't actually care.
Yeah, it's better to have somebody out there monotone.
Mhm.
Oh, touchdown. Again, great catch by the guy from Indiana.
Yeah.
So that was a good one. Of course, Iowa loses by a walk-off field goal. Basically, there was 3 seconds left. The guy squib kicked it. The game was basically over. So Iowa is going to be tough. We'll get in that hole, obviously, when we come to that. But right now, Raph, we got Pasadena. You got Latif that'll be taking on his first start, donning the uni, basically close to home is Will Harrison. He's going to be right there at the crib, basically. Raph, again, I kind of resort to this from your QB days, man. Obviously, we're a lot older now. But the mindset, if you are Coach Glenn or if you are Dana Holgerson or Coach Rule, what are you trying to instill in the young man as he gets prepared to take off, and they kick off here in about an hour and 10 minutes?
You want him to be prepared, which I'm sure he is. But the more I think about this, I think this is almost close to a perfect situation on the road for him to make his first start. And the reason why I say that is the pressure of like getting into the playoffs. That's out the window. We know that's finished. We've already clinched a bowl game, so we know that's finished. And you're playing at UCLA, where you know that the UCLA crowd's probably not going to be in too full force. You have him playing at home. I just think there's a lot of stuff to where it's an advantage for him. Like there's really people are going to say there's pressure of him making his first start, but I don't think there's as much pressure as what there could have been if, say, for instance, we had pulled out that game against USC. Then all of a sudden the weight of the world's still on his shoulders. But at the end of the day, I just hope that the coaching staff, and I hope that, Holgerson kind of takes the reins off him a little bit. I hope they don't get so conservative and the thought of, well, he's just a freshman, and it's making that they don't get overly conservative and they don't give him a chance. I think that where he's sitting right now, it's a perfect situation for him.
Raph, I'm before I go in, I want Harrison to comment on that. Harrison, do you like the idea that he's making this start away from home? I mean, obviously he's going home, but you know what I'm saying, away from home.
Yeah, away from the Husker fans.
What do you think? Do you think it's washed, or do you think it's a better situation for him to start there?
Me and Raph talked about this. Uniquely, I think it's a better situation. We talked about the weather. Even though it's kind of cold and crap, yeah, that place would have been packed to go see TJ Latif, and it's weirdly probably kind of nice not to have all eyes on TJ Latif in this game, because I mean it's great to have the fan base at your back. It's also nerve-wracking when everyone's just eyes on you, waiting for you to have that big play or make that big mistake. So being on the road, and he's familiar. I think he won a high school state championship in that stadium as well at the Rose Bowl. So it's an area he's familiar with, and I like it a lot better being on the road. It's not playing out the road in Penn State. It's playing on the road at UCLA. Not to disrespect them too much, but I like that setting more.
When you mentioned West Coast, I started thinking about Tupac. All eyes on me. Being a West Coast guy as well. And when I was out in Los Angeles this week, Wednesday and Thursday, and you're just kind of thinking about the game. A lot of the Husker fans, I'm seeing them come in as I'm flying out, etc. And I'm thinking about Latif, and I think both of you bring up a great point. All eyes will not be on him from that stadium for the most part. It'll just be the fans that are there. And of course, you have the TV. Of course, there'll be a lot of people. It's 8:00 game, etc. But to both of your points, Raph and Harrison, it's not the eyes of 86,000. The pregame, he's here listening to those guys are they're listening, they're watching things. You're away from all the chaos for a little bit. That's why you think about in training camp. That's why they send them away from their home stadiums and home places to get rid of distractions. He doesn't have all the distractions of starting here. Friends and all the rest of that stuff. Now, he'll have a ton of people there because that's where he's from. But to answer, to both of you, could kind of agree with both what you said. I like the idea he's getting away from home a little bit, a lot, 2 time zones different as far as that goes, and just kind of starting off on a fresh thing. Raph, with that being said, man, we talked about ways that you can alleviate some of the stress or some of the pressure. I don't want to say stress, but there is stress, some of the pressure on Latif. how crucial is it going to be to feed EJ the ball early and often and to keep Nebraska's offense on schedule?
Yeah, definitely. He's got to be, the focal point of that offense. But like Austin said in the prior segment, you don't want it to be run, pass. They've got to mix it up, but you want to see Emmett get, I would think, between probably 20, 25 carries again tonight. I think that would be his sweet spot right around there. But you definitely want to mix it up some. You just don't want to be so predictable, and you don't want to handcuff him. That's the big thing with freshman quarterback is you just don't want to be so conservative that you let some of his natural ability, shine a little bit. And I think that's key. And like I said, going back to, I just think that the pressure is kind of alleviated. I mean, if you wanted a first start on the road, this is kind of where, for a quarterback, for his building as a quarterback, I think this is the perfect situation because, like I said, if we would have beat USC last week, this game would have been crazy. And I don't know if it would have been, too much.
Harrison, it's, Nebraska, even with Rayola in there, there were times we were off schedule, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9s, even, 3rd and 14.
That was the pattern of our team.
Absolutely.
It was to get a lead, give up the lead, come back in the 4th.
Yes. Tonight, you don't want to put that on the shoulders of a kid that's just starting. Because let me just tell you this, Harrison, and Ralph, I'll bring back to you after I ask Harrison this. I don't know what to expect from TJ because we haven't seen it. That's like me trying to say Hawaii's nice. I've seen pictures. You know what I'm saying? I've never been to Hawaii. I haven't seen. Now I've seen, of course, again, I'll go Akron, Houston Christian in the short sampling we got against USC. But I mean, when you come in knowing you're the starter, your mindset's different. Because normally TJ's going in thinking, I'm not going to see the field line unless we blow them out or we get blown out or there's an injury. Things you don't expect, at least as far as injury goes. So I don't know what to expect from TJ. I know what he's capable of as far as the tools that he came with, hence why we recruited the young man. I'm excited to see what he can do, man. That's
the beauty of it because that's exactly what the UCLA defensive coordinator is saying. It's a little bit of edge for him too in this first game of, obviously they know he's a mobile quarterback, but you still, if you're UCLA, you're sitting there, okay, how's Holgorsen going to want to do this? Because to Raph and Austin's point, it's not going to just be run, pass. If it is, that's, not a great sign for us. But, I'm curious to just see how do we use him? Do you get into some of that old school option stuff, or is that too much pressure with that first start? Do you drop a lot of QB design runs, or is it just let him scramble when he sees it? I'm really curious to see how Holgorsen wants to use his legs and how big of a part of the game plan, or maybe they see some stuff in practice and they're like, this kid can rip it. And we see a different version that no one's really expecting.
Rip it!
So,
rip it's good.
Versus Houston Christian, 3 steps was pretty easy to identify. The key for him, I mean, he was accurate with it, but it's easy to see the guy that's open by that much. It'll be interesting to see what that all looks like as far as his accuracy comes now that he's playing some Big Ten competition.
Rafferty, if you're Dana Holgorsen, you got a guy, a sensation, a freshman sensation, which he has, obviously, I'll say this, he was a freshman sensation recruited here. We haven't seen it yet on the field because he hasn't been getting this opportunity. If you're Dana, how much do you feed him? Do you give him the kids menu or do you give him the adult menu and say, son, it's time to go eat?
Maybe not quite the full entire adult menu, but I definitely want him eating at the adult table. And then also too, the zone read for Nebraska, it's going to be interesting to watch that tonight because usually when they run zone read with Dylan, he's not going to keep it. So tonight you have that option there where you'll see him keep it a little bit. So that'll play havoc, hopefully, with their linebackers. And that's where the tight ends, I think, could be key for tonight too, because those linebackers are worried about the quarterback. It's going to give you a chance for your tight ends to get behind the coverage of the linebackers.
Rafi, what's your score, my man? And one key for the offense, one key for the defense.
I'm going to say Nebraska 24. Let's go. 24-17. Key for the offense. Don't be too conservative. Key for the defense. Shut down the running game, tackle, and don't let Nico become Heisman Trophy Nico. Keep him, keep him under wraps.
What about you, Harrison?
Yeah. I'm in that same camp. Probably around like 28-21. Huskers win.
Key for the offense and D.
Keys from the offense and defense? Keys for the offense, I mean, it's going to be run the ball. I mean, it's a UCLA team, whether it's, TJ Lateef or Emmett Johnson, you got to figure out a way, and it's going to be a challenge with that offensive line. They had to move some people around. Defense, I mean, it's going to be contained. It's been contained all year.
Absolutely.
I mean, if Nico's who wants to run around the edges, make him pay for it.
Absolutely. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Nebraska 28. I'm going to say UCLA 24. I'm going to say defensively first, Nebraska is going to have to play disciplined football, stay in their lanes and play assignment. You cannot allow Nico to kill you with his legs and with the arm because he can do both. He leads the team both obviously in passing, but also in rushing. So you got to play containment football and play assignment football and play discipline like crazy. Offensively, stay on schedule. Heavy dose of EJ, and I think Nebraska comes out on top on this one.
I like it. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, Raph?
I'm good. Everyone be nice to each other. Have fun watching the game. Oh, catch the post-game show. It'll be on until 2 a.m. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, you can get them to start making breakfast because we got the post-game show. Got the post-game show. Of course, our very own Nick Sainert and Jay Former will have the post-game show. So definitely tune in for that. Harrison, appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Before we get out of here, I'll shout out our sponsor. And if maybe you need some meal for the game, you haven't decided yet. Hey, football fans, the season is Raising Cane's is downtown in Lincoln. Is a place to be before and after the game. Stop by 14th and P Street 2 hours before every home game for giveaways, good vibes, and their signature hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy, crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and the legendary Cane sauce. And when the final whistle blows, Cane's is keeping the party going with live DJs from Whatever Collective and unmatched energy for 3 hours after the game. Shout out Raising Cane's. We're going to throw it to break. Don't go anywhere, though. We got plenty more left. Me and DP coming up next right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in season? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC, doing life together.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer, participating dealers, restrictions may apply.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki NAV, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to NAV your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by Currency.
All right, welcome back in to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. I am Harrison Arns, and being joined on the Allo VIP line by the man down there in California. We got Derek Pearson on the Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. We are about an hour away before kickoff as Nebraska gets ready to take on the UCLA Bruins. DP, what's the atmosphere like down there in UCLA at the Rose Bowl?
Well, I mean, it is 75 degrees is what we were officially told. So it's a gorgeous night. Not much wind. There's some wind at the top of the bowl. All the kickers seem to have a pretty good feel for what the wind is doing. It's always interesting to watch the pregame and watch how quarterbacks are throwing the ball. The ball's coming out of the Chiefs' hand pretty rock solid. So yeah, this is definitely a Nebraska presence. Husker Nation showed up here. And the Huskers are wearing the white with the red pants. UCLA has all gold shoes. They came out with the traditional tribute tops, the camouflage joints. So I'm not sure what the jerseys are going to look like. But to come out, they're setting the scene for some pretty good high volume, high quality national TV Big Ten football.
Yeah, I've been looking at it. You sent me the videos. Of course, we put them on our social media as well. We're jealous. It's cold and rainy and not great out here. And it is beautiful weather down there, it looks like. And it looks like there's a good crowd. A lot of Huskers, as you mentioned, seem to make the travel. Before we dive more into the game, we'll shout out our sponsor, Currency. Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options at Currency. Hiring full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, and other fields. Apply today at gocurrency.com. DP, to you, I mean, for TJ Lateef, what are going to be the biggest things for him in this game to make sure that he's mentally ready? First real start on the road down there in UCLA. What's the mindset of him got to be like?
I am going to call to my soul, the great Miyagi, and tell TJ Lateef, focus. focus. It's not about being at home. It's not about your friends and family. It is not about Dylan Raiola. It is about TJ Lateef doing what he does, doing what he's been coached to do, and doing what he's being asked to do. Don't get caught up in the spirit of the game, national TV, all the cameras, all that sort of stuff. Don't play beyond yourself. Don't try to do anything that you haven't practiced or drilled 100 times. There's nothing that he's going to be asked to do tonight that he hasn't done 100 times. Do that, and he'll be fine, and the Huskers will be fine.
I like it. And with Dana Holgorsen, he's obviously going to have to put in, I'd imagine, some different wrinkles and how he wants to use TJ Lateef. What are you expecting out of this offense tonight at 8 p.m. kickoff again versus UCLA, where Emmett Johnson's been a known factor and a big strength for this? Obviously, Dylan Raiola out in this one. Now you got TJ Lateef, more of a mobile quarterback. And then, our receivers at times have flashed and been really great. At other times, they maybe struggled to get open. What are you seeing from this offense, potentially with a new quarterback at the helm?
Well, I spent a little time with him down on the field before the game, and he is a man on fire. He's got the mission eyes going on. And I think that's the standard for Nebraska this season, that Emmett, they go as Emmett goes, and as Emmett goes, everything else eases up and becomes easier to throw the ball off of what you run. Dana doesn't have to change much. That was a thing, part of the conversation. The offense is the offense. And I think what happens is that there are things in it that TJ can do that Dylan wasn't as comfortable or friendly doing, which is the early principles of this thing of the zone read and the RPO is the run threat by the quarterback and being able to take defenders out of that space and making them account for it. They'll tell you, UCLA will tell you, they don't normally want to account for a running quarterback. They don't want to account for them. Every time you have to account for a quarterback defensively, that's a man you take out of coverage. It's more risk and more burden you put on the defensive backs, more risk on getting running backs to the ground because, quite frankly, you got one less defender to clean up the mess. So if they just run the offense and run the clues that they have and the keys that they have, it should be harder to defend because they don't have as much film on TJ and what they would want to do with him. But what I would say is do what you do. Listen, if I've got those three receivers and one less defender in the box, those receivers should have more success. That should be the thing. And then there's more risk of Emmett breaking the 4-yard into a 40-yard because you got one less defender in the box. TJ Lateef, we don't need for him to be Superman. You just need to be the best TJ Lateef that he can be. When he needs to move the chains, move the chains. When he needs to get down, get down. When he needs to make a throw on the run, make sure he hits the pretty white jerseys with the red numbers, and we'll be just fine.
That's been a lot of the conversation throughout the week in regards to talking about TJ Lateef and his expectations is leaning on the known factors that Nebraska does have. When we were talking about TJ Lateef and taking, playing his game and maybe taking some of the pressure off, like what are some of the things that TJ Lateef can possibly lean on in this game and be more of a game manager than being the guy that has to win it for Nebraska?
Well, I didn't even know that game manager is the call. I think he's a playmaker. That's how he got the rating that he did. He got the credentials that he did because he was a playmaker and at a high level in the state of California. So it's not like, you're talking about a guy that can't make throws and didn't put up passing stats in high school. No, TJ can throw the dang ball. And I think what you do is simplify it in that the throws you ask him to make are the ones that you've seen him make at practice and in drills. But it's his footwork. It's his ability to break down defenders and, quite frankly, his ability to, again, take one defender, maybe two, and get them out of their comfort zone. UCLA can't do what they would have done a week ago against Dylan Raiola. They can't defend that way because Dylan didn't want to pull the ball down and run with it. TJ will pull it down, run with it, and maybe even do some damage with him as well. So the playbook is the playbook. They don't need for him to manage the game. Just don't get fancy. Don't get cute. Do what you've been trained to do.
We talked about this in the last segment. I'll pose the same question. So, do you give TJ Lateef the kids menu or do you give him that adult menu and let him work with what the offense has?
Bro, this is grown man football. This is Big Ten on national TV. This is the most important game of the season for the Huskers. let alone for TJ Lateef. But this may be the most important game of the season for Matt Rule. This may be the most important game of the season for Dana Holgorsen. It's certainly a thing. And why would you dummy down in a Big Ten game of importance? This is win number 7. The difference, the financial difference, the reputational difference of being a 7-win team, getting on a roll, going into Happy Valley next week, being able to show that, wait a minute, it's not all about number 15. It's not a one-man team. That's not what they're doing. Just do what you've been coached to do. The keys are the keys. Like, no matter what play is called, he's got keys to read, and he has an advantage. The advantage is that he is a threat with the ball, and that makes UCLA weaker defensively than they normally are or would be against the Dylan Raiola-led Husker offense.
I like it. I know a lot of people are excited and really curious to see what TJ Lateef has in his bag. Let's talk about the defense before we go ahead and let you go, DP. Secondary, great last week. We could talk about the run games or the run defense struggling a bit. What are some of the keys for this defense to hold out? Again, another quarterback who's a dual threat. And they got 3 running backs. It's a little bit running back by committee. All 3 backs got like 200 yards. No real lead back. It's actually Nico leading in both rushing and passing. Keys to the defense. How would you visualize stopping this Bruins team?
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've figured out what they can do against mobile quarterbacks. And we understand that, listen, don't buy the zone read. Don't buy the inside. Listen, giving up 3s and 4s is a lot different than giving up 8 on a 3rd and 7. Don't let your quarterback get the corner. Don't let him extend the defense. Don't let him extend drives with his feet. I was telling Farley, standing on the sideline to see how large of a human being he is, this is a giant of a man, right? So, listen, you're going to come and have to put pads on him, hands on him, wrap him up, get him to the ground. And then, quite frankly, you're going to have to put pads on him. Like, he's a threat. Both of these quarterbacks can be dynamic in that space and both control the run, both like the idea that they take another defender out of the schemes. So it's what they've done, what they had to deal with Cincinnati, with Maryland, with Michigan. We understand mobile quarterbacks are a problem. We saw it last week where some critical moments, they didn't maintain discipline and quarterbacks got outside on the 3 big runs that cost Nebraska a win. Same thing, rules apply tonight. Do your job, get him to the ground, and then make him make tough throws across his body. Limit him to a third of the field. Whatever that third is, limit him to that third and get to work.
I like it. And to your point, you got to put some pads on them. I mean, even the running backs, you got 3 running backs. They're going to consistently mix those guys in, to keep them fresh, and they're going to be running hard. And then obviously with that quarterback, you can make the argument, TJ Lateef and Nico. I mean, those are both first guy off the bus type of frames where you're going to have to tackle them and wrap them up. And, again, it's nothing dirty, but make those guys consider if they want to go out there and run loose like that. You got to make them pay for it if they want to run outside there on the edges. A few minutes left here. Again. Go ahead.
But Harrison, they're doing every time they run the ball, they're doing Nebraska a favor. They're doing Nebraska a favor because it's easier to defend.
Mm-hmm.
It's much easier to defend. If you've got the playmakers on the outside that you can, and then you break people down by having a big mobile quarterback who can get into space and break things down. Listen, if he's just handing the ball off, we can send hats to the ball. That's not a Nebraska problem. And if they do not make mistakes and don't make penalties, don't do those sort of dumb things with not honoring the scheme's disciplines, they're going to be fine. This is a 3-5 UCLA team. This is not a 6-3 UCLA team. There's a reason. There were some things in play before. There's some things in play now. There's some things on tape against Indiana that showed, you know what, they had some flaws. They had 2 weeks advantage. A week of that they spent scouting Dylan Raiola. Whoops. Now you got to get back in the bag and do what you do. I just think it's a great opportunity for Nebraska. It's a great opportunity for TJ Lateef. It's a huge opportunity for this coaching staff to show that you can regroup, regather, rebrand, and refocus this team. 7 wins is on the table, and it's a beautiful night for it.
Well said. Couldn't say any better myself. And before we get out of here, again, this segment was sponsored by Currency. You can go to apply today at gocurrency.com. DP, I know you stay away from the score predictions, but I'll let you get the final thoughts here. How do you see this game playing out, and if Nebraska is going to win?
Well, I mean, I've said this every week that it's a critical fork in the road week for Nebraska. 7 wins sounds a whole lot better than 6-4. 7-3 sounds a lot better. And if Nebraska doesn't beat itself, Nebraska wins the game. It seems like oversimplification, but as a coach, I'm just going to tell you, don't jump off sides, don't grab and hold, don't do the dumb things don't get too hyped in the moment and get the extracurricular work in and cause, those 15-yard penalties. No, do your job, do what you were coached to do, understand your disciplines, and follow the disciplines. And then when you get the opportunity, and you will, finish this game off. Finish.
I like it a lot. Let's hope that Nebraska can do just that and finish. And as DP mentioned, 7 wins feel a lot better than 6-4. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to go ahead and let the boss man go. That is Derek Pearson, owner of 93.7 The Ticket. I am Harrison Arns. But like I said, we got 2 more segments left. Me and Austin Norman will carry you guys all the way up until 8 o'clock, until kickoff. So don't go anywhere. This is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show as Nebraska gets ready to face the UCLA Bruins.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sappbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Crinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
Welcome back to about half an hour away from kickoff between Nebraska and UCLA. I'm Austin Norman. He is Harrison Arons. Big thanks to the whole staff, the whole crew contributing here to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Part of that crew, our friends at Select Plumbing. They're now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, you can call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. Big shout out to the great folks down there at Select Plumbing. And Harrison, it is typically in the plumbing where Nebraska's Novembers have gone far too quickly. They have gone to crap, if you will. For more years, more so than just Matt Rule. But here's the thing. Matt Rule says, before me, I wasn't part of that. You can't put that on me. Judge me by what my teams have done. All right, let's do just that. Let's go back to November of 2023. Nebraska had just wrapped up a 3-0 October. Now, Nebraska played once in August, 4 times in September, and then ended up playing the first weekend in October, a 20-7 win on the road at Illinois. Had a bye week before a game at Northwestern. The Huskers won that, or home against Northwestern. Huskers won that one 17-9. And then Nebraska took down Purdue 31-14. So after beginning the year 0-2 with losses at Minnesota and Colorado, Nebraska had rattled off 5 wins in 6 opportunities to be sitting at 5-3 on the precipice, on the doorstep of bowl eligibility.
4 games to do it.
On tap for Nebraska. At a Michigan State team reeling from the fallout of Mel Tucker and that saga related to Brenda Tracy and everything going on in that realm. Interim coach, 2 different quarterbacks take the field, including future college football playoff quarterback Sam Leavitt for Michigan State. And Nebraska lets an opportunity slip through its fingers. Final score of 20-17. It's not like Nebraska even gave up a late score to lose that game. In fact, it was Nebraska that scored last. Huskers got back within a field goal with 3.5 minutes to go after trailing 20-10. It was too little and too late. All right, no worries. Nebraska gets a home date against Maryland. At the time going into that game, you look at the Terps, they were 5-4, same record as Nebraska. Terps led it 7-0 at the half. They scored just before what would have been the 2-minute warning to go up 7-0. Nebraska 10 unanswered in the third, and then it was 2 field goals from Maryland. Terps take a 13-10 win back home to College Park with them. Nebraska turns it over 5 times in that game. Huskers lose 1 fumble. Jeff Sims throws 2 picks. Heinrich Harburg and Chubba Purdy all took the field and threw an interception as well. Okay, now you're getting down to business. Now it's getting tight. Nebraska 5-5, road trip to Wisconsin, a place that has not treated Nebraska well. And it didn't once again. 24-17, Wisconsin wins that one.
Is that year 1, Luke Fickell?
That would have been year 1, Luke Fickell.
Yeah, because it's the same year as Matt Rule. So.
Indeed. That game went to overtime.
So we can maybe get some positives out of this if we talk about where both programs stand today.
Yes, there has been more improvement for Nebraska than Wisconsin. Of course, the Huskers led that game 14-0 after the first quarter. 2 long touchdowns, 55-yard tutty from Chubba Purdy on the ground, and then Jalen Lloyd, a catch and run for 58 yards. Had Nebraska up 14-0, 10 unanswered for Wisconsin in the second. Wisconsin scored a touchdown in the third. Nebraska gets a late field goal, 4 seconds on the clock from Tristan Alvano. Chip shot to tie it. We go to overtime. Braylon Allen runs it in from 3 yards out on Wisconsin's possession, and Nebraska ends up just short of the end zone. That's the one where there's the potential defensive pass interference near the end zone, I believe. Oh, no, that was Nebraska. I think they turned it over there at the end of the game. I was thinking a couple of years before.
I think it was
Adrian Martinez to Xavier Betts.
Yeah, no, this one is, if I remember, it was an overtime disaster where
shot really for Nebraska.
A lot of these OTs have been, 3 tries and we're out already, and the other team scores it instantly.
Yeah. So then Black Friday, number 20 Iowa comes to town. Nebraska was doing the Lord's work on defense, absolutely bottling Iowa up. In fact, on the day, Iowa just 257 total yards. But at the end of the day, Iowa does indeed prevail. Deacon Hill runs for a touchdown, 1 of 2 in the game. Jalen Lloyd had the long pass from Chubba Purdy as well. Iowa kicks the walk-off field goal at the gun. Nebraska 0-4 in November and staying home from a bowl game. But that's okay. 2024 came. The sun rose, came up the next year. Nebraska going into November. Let's see here. Nebraska sitting, hey, guess what? 5-3. After a 5-1 start to the year, Nebraska has back-to-back road games at Indiana, at Ohio State. Huskers get outscored cumulatively 77-24. Well, okay. Well, here's UCLA. They're kind of going through it. They're beatable. They're not that great. How good are they really? Well, good enough to beat Nebraska. In fact, good enough to jump out to a halftime lead of 13-7 and a third quarter lead of 27-7 before Nebraska scored it twice late. To cut into things, but too little, too late. Then Nebraska goes to USC. Here's Dana Holgerson. He did it. The Savior's in town. And Nebraska scores the exact same number of points at 20 before they do get the elusive 6th win at home against Wisconsin, 44-25. Nebraska had a chance for 7 wins last year, but of course on the road at Iowa, Nebraska plays so incredibly well defensively, lets Caleb Johnson slip through the cracks on a swing pass. He houses it to tie the game. And then again, it's a walk-off field goal for Iowa. Nebraska ends the regular season at 6-6. Harrison, Nebraska sits right now 6-3. They have UCLA tonight, a bye week, Penn State, and Iowa. What gives you hope? What gives you confidence that this November could be better for Nebraska than the previous 2?
I'll have a lot more answers after this game. I know that much for sure. The things that give me hope is obviously the defensive secondary, because they've just been on top of it. But when you're looking at, the games coming forward here with UCLA, it certainly feels like our best chance. For anybody who watched Penn State today, I know they lost, but unreal performance. And that team still has all the talent that they had. Just we're lacking a leader to put it together.
Sure.
So if that team, picks themselves back up, who knows what kind of Penn State team we get. And then Iowa, I know they lost today too, but I mean, this is a good Iowa team that actually has a legit offense this year. It might be vanilla, it might be basic. So, I'll be honest, I'm a little uneasy. This UCLA game, I feel like we can get 1. I'm really not so sure about the next 2. The things that, if it does work out, the things that do give you confidence is that Emmett Johnson has been phenomenal all year. The defensive secondary has been awesome all year. If you can figure out a way to get that offense, and maybe TJ Lateef is the answer to make those downs a little bit more manageable where you're keeping that rhythm in place, then you can have some hope there. But, I'll be honest, the wide receivers, the defensive secondary, and then Emmett Johnson are kind of the things you're leaning on. But, and of course, special teams. I should throw that. That is a major difference.
Mm-hmm.
You can make an argument we've won 2 or 3 games just because of special teams this year. So that is certainly one thing you can lean on. But I'll be honest, there isn't a ton of knowns that I feel super comfortable with these 3 games left.
You can go ahead and throw the Michigan State game in that category. Special teams helps key that incredibly quick start.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Northwestern.
Northwestern, the kickoff return from Kenneth Williams with the offense stuck in neutral in the opening snap of the second half.
And I think it was Maryland just the week before, right?
And Maryland had the long kickoff return where ended up getting hawked down. I still think if he takes more of an angle instead of running straight, he probably houses that one. Either way, an explosive return for Nebraska. Maybe this is too simplistic. Maybe this is too reductive. Let's flip that same question around. What gives you pause? What makes you think that this November could fall just in line with the previous Novembers under Matt Rule and Nebraska scuffles to the finish line again?
Well, hey, we got a new quarterback, and it doesn't mean he can't do it or he's unable to. I just haven't seen it yet. And that offensive line's already pretty banged up, right? They're moving some guys around, trying to make it work. And then, it's the trenches. Consistent teams are solid in the trenches. I don't know if anyone can say that about Nebraska this year, that we've been solid year round or even in a game where the defensive front, they've had moments, but then, we got absolutely gashed by USC. I thought Lincoln Riley was doing us a big favor by throwing it as much as they did, especially in that first half. And then the offensive line, you gave up how many sacks to Dylan Raiola, and it's not all on the offensive line. Again, I always go back to 9 sacks is a collective offensive failure.
Yeah.
You can't just point at the offensive line for that one. But, when you start racking up in the past 3 games where it was like the number was like 22 or something crazy, obviously you're in the mix there in a major way. So, those are the ones that give me pause. As great as Emmett Johnson can be, can you block for him? Because what he does really well, and I'll give him credit, he really pushes those holes quite a bit before he'll jump and make a cut. Or, a lot of times not even where the hole's supposed to be, but he's just forcing that issue and then making a great move off of it. Those are the things that give me pause. And it's the most obvious one is the trenches, and then how comfortable are we with the new quarterback at the helm? Because I had DP saying you don't want to dumb down the playbook at all, and that might be right. If you have that kind of trust in him, but at the same time, if we put him out there and he throws 2 turnovers early and his confidence is shaken, then we're in a really big problem.
Well, there's a difference between playing conservative and playing passive.
Yeah,
sure. Maybe Nebraska has to play a little bit more conservative. I don't think that's what they should do. I think if you have the trust in the young man, you open it up enough, right? You're not throwing everything at him, but you're throwing enough at him because you think about it, everything you take off of his plate is something you take off of UCLA's plate.
Yeah. And you made a great point earlier as well. Like it's as long as it's not, run pass.
Right.
That's just like the super predictable conservative, like that stuff.
That's passive.
That's passive.
To me.
Yeah.
Where again, I'm not saying that's the wrong formula if it works, but you got to open it up a little bit. You got to air it out a little bit, especially if you believe in the kid's arm, especially if you believe in your wide receivers and you want to get Ja'Cory Barney Jr. the ball more. You got it. You can't not at this point, right? You can get the easy throws, you can get the rhythm throws. And that's where, Harrison, my biggest thing for Nebraska is, can you lean on Dana Holgerson's roots? Which I know scares everyone to hear. Well, he's an air raid guy. We don't want to do that. Why would we do that? Dana even said Nebraska's a run the ball team now. Dana Holgerson's going to feed Emmett Johnson.
Yes.
I have no doubt. But when it comes to the passing concepts, where are the open receivers for Nebraska like Texas Tech had back in the day? Like Oklahoma State had back in the day? Like, even Houston. Eric King was rolling with Dana Holgerson in that general time frame that might have been right before Dana got there. But West Virginia, Dana Holgerson, right? Where are those guys? Where are those easy throws? You can't turn TJ Lateef into a one-read robot. Okay, here's where I'm going with the ball. Okay, here's where I'm going with the ball. Okay, here's where I'm going with the ball. Every time. He's got to be able to go through progressions. But it would thrill me to see Nebraska get TJ Lateef some of those consistent, just 7-yard throws, put it right there on the numbers, let your receiver turn upfield and see if you can do any more work. Feels like Nebraska hasn't had that. Maybe some of that is a function of better corners, better pass rushes in this Big Ten than Dana Holgerson faced back in the day. But he saw plenty of scary defenses as well. It just doesn't seem like Nebraska has guys running open or sitting open nearly as often anecdotally as some previous Dana Holgerson teams have had.
Yeah, and you saw a lot with Dylan Raiola. For whatever criticisms you can give that guy, he would go through his progressions and then go back. And then that's where Luke Lindenmeyer had a lot of success of just running back to the football out of whatever route he was supposed to run because the play broken down as much as it did. But it's been the most surprising thing with me with this Nebraska team. And I'm not sure who it's all on, if it's on the wide receiver coach, if it's on the players, if it's on, Dylan Raiola, if it's on Thompson, the quarterback coach, he really doesn't get talked about hardly at all. Yeah. And, we've missed a lot of those deep ball throws with Dylan Raiola. And, whether the ball was the wide receiver slowed up or the ball was thrown too far, there's always an argument for that. But that's the biggest thing is I really have not seen explosiveness in the passing game from Nebraska nearly as much as I thought. I mean, you just went through the Dana Holgorsen teams, and that's kind of been the biggest surprise for me. And I do wonder if that changes, if it was Dylan Raiola failing to make the reads doesn't feel right because he was going through them, or if the wide receivers just aren't getting open. But it's hard for me to believe that you got Key and you got Hunter, Barney. We've seen these guys, Barney particularly an absolute barn burner, year one, where teams just couldn't keep up with him. So I'm a bit perplexed why that has struggled so much for us.
Your guess is as good as mine. Starter Human Jewelers text line 5393 sends in a thought. Have you not watched the 95 and 96 teams run the ball? No, neither of us were alive in 1995 or 96.
Yeah, watch the tape.
Yeah, you can watch the tape all you want, but this is 30 years after the fact. You can hope Nebraska gets back to that. You can say this is the standard, run the ball like this. Nebraska's not going to do that. They're not at that level yet. You can hope they get there. It might be really good for Nebraska if they get to that level of effectiveness running the ball. But 95 is not this year. It's 2025.
Well, even, go look at a team like Michigan, who that's their identity. And you can make a big argument that their line was much more talented than we were. They barely beat us.
Yeah.
And that's their whole MO is running the ball. And it's all because they are not nearly as elite as they used to be. And that is still a very good offensive line. But if you want to be that team, we're talking some freaky offensive lines. That's why it was the pipeline. That's why it's dubbed such a miraculous nickname and why everyone remembers it so fondly, because everybody would love to mimic the pipeline. Good luck finding the dudes to do it. And that's where always the problem lies. If until you get to that point, you can say run the ball, but say you run the ball for 6 minutes, you get no points. And then you run the ball the next drive for 9 minutes, but you still don't get no point, or whatever it may be. If you have confidence that you can be a real threat consistently with that style, great. But I just don't think we're there.
Shout out to our friends at Select Plumbing. If your plumbing is gummed up like the Nebraska passing game, you can call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. They're now servicing Seward and Milford in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding areas. He's Harrison. I'm Austin. One final segment of pregame, taking you right up to kickoff between Nebraska and UCLA next here on The Ticket.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Owner of High Electric, I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sap Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sap Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Okay, friends, if you haven't seen the new TV and audio experiences at Schaefer's, you are seriously missing out. They just got a glow up, and it's a whole vibe. We're talking custom frame TVs, invisible speakers, and plenty of giant TV options. And there may or may not be cold brew on tap in the kegerator. Whether you're designing a man cave, a lady lounge, or just a really good movie night, this is a great place to start. Come check out the new showrooms only at Schaefer's, local, trusted, and cooler than ever.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, brought to you by A1 Automotive.
One final segment, about 7 minutes or so here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. Speaking of A1 Automotive, always honest answers. A1 Automotive at 11th and L and now 5110 State Hill Drive. Austin Norman, Harrison Arns, and you the listener. We love you. We might make fun of you sometimes, but you make fun of us, so it all balances out in the long run. Let's go ahead and head back to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line here, Harrison. 4424. If Nebraska had better play on both lines, the team might possibly be 9-0 and 8-1. Really? What if I told you if Nebraska had worse play on the line, they could be 3-6 or 2-7?
Yeah,
not to denigrate the take, but come on.
That's the crux of football. I mean, we talk about it all the time. You're not gonna, when we get to the college football playoffs this year, when we get to the semifinals, you're not gonna see a bad trench in there.
No, you're not. Now, I will give more credit to the next part. 4424 also says, for whatever reason, whether it's coaching or talent, Nebraska hasn't put together a complete game for a long time. I would say that the Wisconsin game last year was pretty close to complete.
Funny enough, Scott Frost has one under his belt with Northwestern.
Yep. Right, really bad Northwestern team, but you still
really
managed
bad,
to do it.
You dominated them for 4 quarters, which is what you're supposed to do.
But the fact that we can point those two out that quickly as this might count is part of the issue. Harrison, let me ask you this. When we talk about Nebraska needing to make November look better, you assume, like Matt Rule does potentially, that, hey, these might come down to 1-score games.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska's won a few of them this year. Do you feel like Nebraska has unlocked a little bit of that it factor in learning how to win close games and keeping them tight for better or for worse and finding a way at the end? Or does it feel like same old Nebraska, but hey, they just happened to win a couple close ones?
I think it's legit 100%. The biggest thing being, again, special teams. I mean, if you have bad special teams, those 1-score games become terrifying because that is an operation that you may need in a major factor. And whether it's punting, which, Michigan State, the misdirect punt where they run that one back, whether it's Iowa and they're just wreaking havoc on returns and field goals. And then whether it's us where we got to make a field goal and it's like, well, if it's anything past 10 yards, I don't feel great. Those are, one issue where it does make me feel a lot better. And to your point, we have some 1-score wins this year. How many do we have? 3?
Yeah, I believe it's 3 of them officially for Nebraska. So it would be Cincinnati in the opener. It would be Maryland on the road and then Northwestern.
Yeah. So, I mean, for as much as we bang our head about how this never happened, we always get the raw deals. Like this year was actually a little bit of a turn of the tide of where we were actually able to get some of these close games. And, it's not been fun to see Nebraska get the lead, then give up the lead, then get back the lead to win it. But at least they have that extra bit of gas, fuel in the tank, whatever you want to call it, to make a final attempt and score and go at least drive the ball down the field and just make good opportunities and give yourselves a chance.
This makes me laugh. 5393. Why are you wearing green? It's a Husker show.
Who's wearing green?
Am I wearing green?
Yeah.
Are you Harrison's wearing something that says Huskers on it. I'm wearing the exact same black sweatshirt that I wore to Nebraska men's basketball. So
get your screen checked.
Here's some green. I mean, the Diet Mountain Dew, right? As I said with AD, this is Austin Norman brought to you by Diet Mountain Dew all day, every day. That's, I believe, the only green in this room.
Yeah, there might be something wrong with your screen
monitor.
Settings. Yeah, you might want to check on your settings.
Check that one out. I'll say this, Harrison, as we have a couple minutes left. I think Nebraska is still searching for that it factor. I think that if Nebraska had some more of it, whatever it is, they find a way to score once in that third quarter against USC. Nebraska had 3 or 4 opportunities in that third quarter with good field position or at least a good opportunity to score. You have the opening possession of the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do much with it. You get the gift of a turnover. You don't do anything with it. And another drive that starts at midfield, and you do minimal with it as well. The it factor to me is even if you're not playing your best, you find a way to manufacture. I'm not sure this is a Nebraska team that can consistently manufacture points or get out of ruts consistently. Same thing on defense. This is not necessarily a team that has shown consistently that it will dig its heels in and say, no, enough is enough. You're not going any further. You brought up that point about Lincoln Riley. He threw the ball. He bailed Nebraska out early in that game. Nebraska showed no ability to adapt, to find anything that was new, to stop the same running concepts that USC was doing.
But is that genius on John Butler, knowing the stubbornness of the coach he's going against? I mean, honestly.
I mean, if you want to spin it that way, more power to you. I respect that take. Maybe, sure, you got me questioning
the
meaning of life right now. But Nebraska's offense especially. I've been actually more impressed with the defense just in terms of raw points per game.
Mm-hmm.
The offense has certainly tailed off in Big Ten play, which we all will expect to see. But you hold USC to 21, Minnesota to 24 is kind of on the higher end of allowable. Even Michigan to 30, the way that they could run the ball in years past. The defense has been not great, probably inflated by the non-conference games, but relative to my expectations, it's been a little better than I thought. But the offense, I think, is still searching for that it factor that you thought you had in Dylan Raiola. And now it's TJ Latif's turn to see if, do you have that it factor? Can you be the guy that gets Nebraska over the hump in those tough moments? Can you create something out of nothing? It's been Emmett Johnson occasionally and Isaiah Hunter with the screen pass touchdowns here and there. But Nebraska can't just be opening drive script merchants, plain and simple.
Yeah, well, and to my point, when I say it's getting better, you're definitely right. It is not consistent, but at least it is now sometimes, not never. That's what I mean by that.
It is now about time for kickoff. Don't worry. Nick Sainer and Jay Foreman will be back for postgame. Get ready. 402-464-5685. Hang out with the fellas after that. Thanks for sticking with us here through men's basketball postgame, through volleyball postgame, and now football pregame. For the crew, this is Austin Norman saying so long. We'll talk to you again soon here, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go